Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help Black people.
Wrapped in reflections of love that won't fade, in this bittersweet moment, you are still crave. Wrapped in reflections of love that won't fade, in this bittersweet moment, you are still crave. Wrapped in reflections of love that won't fade, in this bittersweet moment, you are JLY. Wrapped in reflections of love that won't fade, in this bittersweet moment, you are still crave. Wrapped in reflections of love that won't fade, in this bittersweet moment, you are still
Hey, yo, Quantic, run them bands up. Quantic, run them bands up.
I had no idea there was an entire TED Talk dedicated to Black women's hair. Really not an entire one. It's like TEDx. It's like mini TED. But still, Black women's hair, though.
I remember sitting in my grandmother's kitchen, being held by the embrace of her special wooden chair, B&B green grease slathered from the top of my eyebrows to the nape of my neck, a hot comb sizzling on the open flame of her gas kitchen stove.
And it's not just a Black woman doing a TED Talk about Black hair. It's like a rotund BBW too. Like, geez, you couldn't pick the better candidate.
The sound of heat and grease melting my scalp like the butter on her Monday morning cheese toast and laying my hair straight like the lines in her Sunday slacks.
You know, one of the worst things to happen to the Black female reputation, or image rather, is the mainstreaming of Big Mama. Yeah, don't nobody want that shit.
I remember sitting on the carpet in between my mother's legs as she parted my hair into sections of perfection, twisting and braiding and counting how many hair bows I better still have on my head by the time I got off that school bus. I remember doing the big chop.
It wouldn't make sense to an outsider, but Black hair is a culture unto itself.
And cutting my
Like there's no other hair culture, I think, like Black hair culture. There's there's a lot to go over.
my hair because I was tired of navigating the twists and turns of chemical burns from perms that still seemed to appear regardless of how much I didn't scratch. I remember locking my hair because my coils loved to be wrapped around each other, hugging each other for power and strength and
You know, you can kind of tell looking at this earlier photo of her, she was destined to be woke. Overweight. I'm hearing strong Black mama in the background, so you more than likely single parent home. Middling attractiveness, which is partially to do with the obesity. And unkempt, uncute dreadlocks. Yeah, there's no other job for you but woke. Sorry, dear.
power and strength and resilience. So I embrace that. The relationship that I have with my hair has been a lifelong journey. And this relationship is similar to so many women that look like me. So many women that have been told time and time again that we need to assimilate our cultural heritage to the norms of this society.
Yes, Black women need to assimilate to the norms of this society. Assimilate the cultural heritage of your hair. I didn't realize hair had cultural heritage, but apparently it does, and it's a thing.
Since we're starting off with what can be a very complex subject with Black women around the world, their hair. Now, the way women decide to wear their hair can have a big impact on how they are perceived, especially in the workplace. According to a new study, the bias is real. Black women's hair is 2.5 times more likely to be looked at as unprofessional.
Black women's hair is 2.5 times more likely to be seen as unprofessional. Now, is it the hair or is it the entire body? And we're just kind of focusing on the hair because it's the easier thing.
Majority of Black women, 66%, change their hair for a job interview, and 41% end up straightening. That's that perm and whatnot, and that hot comb. Y'all got any hot combs? Using that hot comb.
Are hot combs still a thing? My daughters, both of my daughters have like thick, full sets of hair. And I hope to God they never cut it off and start buying weave and shit. But when they were young, like getting their hair done was a thing. So the easiest thing to do would be like with the blow dryer and put some heat on it and comb it out that way. I always thought we should just hot comb this shit and be done with it, but you know, that we never put the hot comb to scalp. Do girls still do that though? How does that work? What do you do with Black girls who have that really kinky type nigga hair? Because, you know, there's like, I don't know, type A, B, C, and nigga. What do you do with type nigga hair? Do you still hot comb?
Comb the way it grows out of their head. Here to talk about it is Bridget Holden, Candace Rogers, Simone Redwine, and Crystal Carter. So, my friend in the middle with the most distinct hairstyle. You will not.
Yeah, you can't have a job here. You can't work here. Honestly, I don't trust either. I don't trust none of y'all sitting on this road. I'll tell you the truth. Maybe the one in the flower dress is okay, but damn it, why'd you have to have dreadlocks? Ah, damn it. Blonde highlights and dreadlocks. Oh, suspicion. The one in the green dress, you know, blonde highlights, still suspicion. Suspicion. All right, this one over here doesn't count at all. She must work for the TV. She must work for Fox 26. I don't know why she's there.
I change it. You are satisfied. And so why do you stay to your guns and don't change it in order to deal with what some consider a professional world?
Because this is my hair, my head. Big hair don't care, period. That's it.
Are you self-employed?
I am. However, now, even when I was employed, I still wore braids and stuff like that as well. But I was also in radio, media industry. However, I
see, and this is what kills me about the Black culture thing. There's this weird attitude in Black culture where you must accept my obnoxiousness. Otherwise, you're being racist. That's kind of like, it kind of bubbled up with the Shiloh Hendrix thing, where like, allegedly, like, so some kid stealing out her purse, she gets mad enough to call him the N-word, and all Black people are like, doesn't matter if she was stealing, you can't say that. And it's like, people are just kind of getting over your right to be obnoxious.
still wore my hair the way I want to because it's a part of my personality. It's who I am. And I feel like when you do that, then people will respect that.
Yeah, see, I wish I had that luxury. See, as an attorney, when I started my career, 2008, economy crashed. My starting salary was $160, and I was told I had to straighten my hair. And at that point, I was like, I can't lose $160. That was more than both of my parents were making combined. So I did that to get the job. And then once I got the job, I wore my hair and my curls in my natural way.
Mm-hmm. So did you have any issues?
I did. Well, what I was told from insiders within the firm is that when braids or twisties or things like that were seen as people who want to buck the system.
You now you understand why I rejected her, right? You understand why I rejected her from the jump. Your blonde highlights and your curly blonde highlight hair, red flags went off. And now she just said out of her own mouth, I'm not even a lawyer. I just don't trust girls. And so out of her own mouth, people with twisties and curlies or whatever, they tend to be people who want to buck the system. Why would I want to welcome you into my system and my house that I built? And then you come to buck the thing? Like, no. Why would I want a person under my roof who is going to buck my roof? You're going to raise my roof? I don't need that. And look what she did. This was her. This is how she blended in to get the job. You know, looking all Caucasian and safe. Nah, this is why they don't trust the good niggas.
And so they had concerns that you wouldn't be, quote, a fit. So as you see here, I wore my hair straight. If it was a higher up meeting or if it was something along those lines.
Well, that's true. So what about you? You have twists, so.
I do. I have locks.
Locks, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I personally have not had any problems because I'm an educator. I'm an educator, so I can relate to my children of all walks of life by wearing my hair.
Was I just muted up? Anyway, like I was saying, dreadlocks mean revolutionary. Dreadlocks mean you are physically involved in revolution. There is a 0.00001% of the Black dreadlock community that is not revolutionary. Matter of fact, you're not allowed to have dreads and not be a revolutionary. They will beat your ass.
In a style that makes me comfortable. However, in the past, when I've interviewed for jobs in the hospital industry or even professional programs, my hair was straightened. Okay. I did. I felt like that would be a bias.
Did you feel like that would help you in that process because you made that choice?
I did. And it was a lot of it was based on things that had happened in my childhood growing up. I'm from rural East Texas.
You see, you got racism. Your dreadlocks are a remembrance of your racism. You're just going to start something. I know. That's the only reason you got this job, because you wanted to start something. That's the only reason you got this job. That's the only reason you wanted to come to this company, is because you picked me to start something. Anyhow, I've been kind of falling back. Let me rewind a little bit and catch up on some earlier donations. Shout out to Dolomite supporting the show early with the $2 super chat. Thank you guys so much. Thank y'all. We are just kind of having a little fun light day today. Not much heavy going on in the news, so gonna maybe freestyle the second half of the show, but appreciate you guys coming through. Joey Montana with the 199. Real knuckle reparations. Thank you so much. And then Joey Montana again with the 199 Obsidian voice. Curse! That's exactly what it is. I wonder if Obsidian's going to cover this, because, you know, I've actually looked at this a little bit, and I got stories coming out for the last couple of months about how Section 8's getting canceled and pulled back, really. And I haven't heard anybody in the Manosphere Red Pill arena talk about that yet, and I'm surprised me, because there aren't any real major news stories about it. You almost kind of have to have your ear to the street, I guess, like I do, to notice that kind of thing. I caught like a glimpse of the story, like literally an image was on my timeline. It was one tweet and one picture, and I'm like, wait a minute, Section 8's getting cut? When I start looking, I'm like, oh, they've been slowly pulling back. That's crazy. That's crazy. But we're going to talk about all that and maybe a few other things later on in the show. Hit that like button. Thank you guys for supporting the stream. Shout out to all the members in the show. Thank you to everybody for being here, growing the church. We are not done yet. Hit that like button.
I need that money.
And so,
tell us some of those things that you experienced from rural East Texas.
Oh, well, we would get comments about our hair being greasy, our hair being nappy. and outside of hair, just discrimination, period. At my high school, people spray painted the N word on the, side.
Of course they did. Of course they did. I got to tell you, greasy isn't something that's typically said about black hair. Like, that's kind of a Caucasian hair type thing. Greasers, grease ball. Black folk don't typically get the greasy hair thing. We get other things, but not greasy. And technically, grease is a positive for black hair.
Out of someone's truck. So it was pretty in your face. And I was always taught to be who I am and be confident, but there was always, I guess you could say, the fear of the backlash as well in East Texas. Like, will you be selected for this scholarship? Are the teachers going to not withhold information, or going to withhold information from you at the high school? Which all of these things happened in my upbringing.
And of course, you have straight hair. So what did you decide?
I think it's easier, actually. It's easier for me to wear my hair straight. When I was out before in corporate, the natural hair was just not coming in. And it was harder for me to figure out the twist styles and the bantu knots and all this other products. It was too much for me. So I was like,
so that was more.
Right. Straight hair. Just simple. Nice down the side. You don't need to do too much. All of this right here, all of this up here, the Lion King, you look like a troublemaker. You do. You look like you're going to give me a hard time and everybody around us is going to have a bad day.
More work for you.
Yeah, it was more work. So this was more convenient for me, just to straighten it out, curl it up, and keep it moving.
This is work now.
Yeah,
This is work. This is not easy. However,
So for those who are wondering, how long does it take to get your hair together?
Good job. So I'm up every morning between 2 and 3 a.m. and then it's probably about an hour. Yeah. Not to do my hair.
Okay.
Not to do my hair, but
But the time it takes to do your hair.
yeah,
how long?
to brush it out and everything, probably about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Yeah.
And Simone, your thoughts? I mean, and one of the things she said, it's more work to be now.
In a news piece about hair discrimination, it's just really weird to highlight the woman in the middle with the most obviously egregious hair. Like, their hair isn't acceptable in anywhere outside of artistic America. I bet you smell like incense and shit. Like, there's no way you have a normal corporate job with that hair. You can't even work at the bus company with hair like that. You can't drive a bus. You can't even be a cashier at the grocery store with hair like that. Yes, drag queen hair. Thank you.
Natural.
It is.
So that's why my hair is curly. I like it because I can just pull it back into a bun or pull it back into a ponytail. But I will never forget when career services, I went to Cornell Law School, and career services specifically said you're going to need to straighten your hair for your interviews.
Wow.
Right. Thank you, GD. Your hair tell me that your house is nasty. Your hair look like you got a nasty apartment. That's exactly right. Thank you, GD. That's the perfect way to describe it.
Period. That was it.
And who said that to you?
The director of career services.
And I'm talking about race.
Oh, she was a Caucasian woman.
Okay.
And she was just trying to help me. She wanted, they weren't giving out jobs.
So she
in
knows what
2008.
others like her may feel when you walk through the door.
Correct. And so for me, it was a goal. Once I became an attorney, that I wanted to earn the right to be myself. So I own my own firm now, the Red Wine Law Firm, and I wear my hair as I see fit, and I do my nails as I see fit. But that was something that I knew first I have to prove myself.
See, that's another thing I hate about, like, the woke professional class. Everywhere in the world, and America is probably the best place to even do this, right? But everywhere you go, you have to kind of fold into the culture that's there, right? Whether it's the corporate culture or a religious environment, whatever. You have to be a part of the thing that you're in. If you want to do your own thing, you kind of have to go off and separate and try to make your own thing successful. And that's really a conversation about the business world. But Black folk have this real attitude of, You have to accept me as I am, and you're wrong for not accepting everything about me. And then when I do everything that I have to do to be successful in your world, I'm still going to go off and do my own thing and then talk shit about you guys for not accepting me, breaking all the rules along the way. It's like this weird posture of you don't have to fit in. I think there's a Japanese, what's that? The nail that stands up gets hammered down. That's like a Japanese saying. We don't really have that in Black America, right? And it's most likely directly attributed to the father issue, but we don't really have that kind of culture of conformity, or there is a little bit of it, but not for anything positive or constructive. But yeah, we have the Crown Act, right, which is so goofy. But it's like in Black America, there is a weird desire to celebrate being against what's positive for the larger community.
And then I can be myself.
I truly commend people who are in the corporate world just for that reason in itself, because I know me, I'm like, no, I want to do what I want to do, and that's like a millennial thing too, I know. But I commend everyone who's able to kind of like swallow their pride and their egos, and say, I'm gonna do what I gotta do and I'll go for it. But for me,
does it ever leave any of you angry though?
And then, this is almost a uniquely male problem. Uniquely female problem, in that I don't think for men it's ever a question of, do I want my hair or do I want this job? Outside of obscure religious groups or whatever, it's not a thing. For the majority of guys, hair versus job isn't even a question. And so there's this conversation about something like the Crown Act. It's almost specifically for female privilege, right? Men really never had that issue. Firemen can't have beards because you can't wear the face mask properly with facial hair. It won't really get a tight, secure fit. So firemen have to be clean shaven pretty much all the time.
That you have to conform.
I've never had
Absolutely.
to.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I've never had to.
Well, I have a daughter, and at the age of 4, students told her she had crazy hair because she'd wear her hair curly and an afro, and we all thought it was cute. We're like, oh, it's cute. And she came home, she said, I don't want crazy hair anymore, Mommy. No. She would fight me about the styles that I would put her hair in. Now today she's 9, and we've been along this journey.
You've brainwashed her into the revolution. Think about this, right? Think about what we're hearing here. This poor little Black girl.
She'd wear her hair curly and an afro, and we all thought it was cute. We're like, oh, it's cute. And she came home, she said,
and this is a thing that irked me as a dad, watching how not just the mom, but women around are with the little children. They become dolls. They become living dolls to the moms and the women around. And there's a real easy habit of, this habit forms very easily where you start to dress the child up for your own performative desires, as opposed to what's practical and what's just the best thing to wear in a quick situation. I would have this. This would burn me up all the time. I would come to get the kids and take them somewhere, and we would do outdoor stuff. We'd be going to the parks and the playgrounds, and you put the little girl in some kind of strappy flip-flop shoe thing, so she can't run with the other kids. She can't do outdoorsy stuff. What the hell? It would bug the hell out of me. But she's cute though, right? But she's cute, and now nobody's having a good time. That kind of stuff just kills me. But women fall into that all the time.
And at the age of 4, students told her she had crazy hair because she'd wear her hair curly and an afro, and we all thought it was cute. We're like, oh, it's cute. And she came home, she said, I don't want crazy hair anymore, Mommy. No. She would fight me about the styles that I would put her hair in. Now today she's 9, and we've been been along this journey for a while. And so she's more confident because we have, helped to build her up in that and let her know this is the hair that God gave you that grows from your head. We're going to embrace it and love.
This is revolutionary hair. You are born into a revolution. This revolution wasn't started by me, wasn't started by your grandmother, wasn't started by your great-grandmother. This revolution was started by your ancestral grandmother generations ago. And that's why you have to wear afros and dreadlocks to school.
And thanks to the literature that's out here today and so many other women that are encouraging their daughters to do the same thing, it's been very helpful. But yes.
GD, she's going to be a stripper when she gets bigger, but she's going to be a conscious stripper. And that's what's important, all right? That's really what's important. It doesn't matter if she's going to be a stripper when she grows up. It's that she's a conscious stripper. And on that regard, her mom did the job. The revolution has been satisfied. A conscious stripper has been birthed. The gods are happy.
I get angry about it.
All right. Thank you, ladies, for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. We could go on all night.
Bro, strip tap is crazy wicked work. Strip tap, that is unheard of wicked work. What is a strip tap? I'm lost. You know what? I don't need to know. Some things just aren't for me. A strip tap. That sounds like a journey I might never come back from. Went on a quest to find the magical strip tap. Black women's hair is going to get them killed. Maybe all of us in the long run, but in the shorter term, it's going to get them killed.
Dr. Carr, this is like the nail that hits the coffin. Consumer Reports just actually released a study. They tested the top 10 synthetic braiding hair brands, and 100%, 10 out of 10, actually tested positive for carcinogens, all right?
What?
And 9 out of them tested positive for lead. Black women who use hair relaxers actually had a 17% higher chance of experiencing uterine fibroids. The hair relaxers have also been
Black women, your entire hair care product, the entire that whole aisle in the Korean beauty shop, that whole aisle, it's like one aisle in the Korean beauty store with all that stuff in it. You know, it's got all the jars and the bottles and the vials and the shampoos and the washes and the whatnots and the dyes and all of this. That whole aisle in the Korean beauty department store. Cancer, right in the melanin. Melanated cancer.
Dr. Carr, this is like the nail that hits the coffin. Consumer Reports just actually released a study. They tested the top 10 synthetic braiding hair brands, and 100%, 10 out of 10, actually tested positive for carcinogens.
Remember, synthetic hair braids, that's weave.
Nail that hits the coffin. Consumer Reports just actually released a study. They tested the top 10 synthetic braiding hair.
Synthetic braiding hair. Okay, that's straight up weave. Those are the extensions. Extensions give you cancer. Weed gives you cancer. All the black girl magical chemicals give you cancer. Probably make your babies tism too. They probably give the babies tism too, but the docs haven't looked into that. Be on the lookout for the weave baby tism connections video. I'm not going to do it. Somebody's going to study it and they're going to do a video, and then I'm going to do a video about their video. Just be on the lookout.
Hair brands, and 100%, 10 out of 10, actually tested positive for carcinogens, all right?
What?
And 9 out of them tested positive for lead. Black women who use hair relaxers actually had a 17% higher chance of experiencing uterine fibroids. The hair
You know, I'm going to stop hitting this mute button. Do you think that the Koreans, generally speaking, not all, right? Not all, but the Korean beauty market industry is it's relatively impenetrable, right? It's like it's an ethnic gang effectively. You can't really get in, do big business with them unless you got a Korean plug. From what I hear, word on the street. Heard it through the weave vine. And so being that there's a very particular set of people who are like right just in the most key centrally placed part of the pipeline, I wonder, are you guys trying to give the black girls cancer? Are the Koreans trying to give black girls cancer? Is a crazy conspiracy? I know.
Hair relaxers have also been connected to uterine cancer. Layer that with a study in 2022, which found that nearly 80% of the beauty and personal care products marketed to Black women contained harmful ingredients that were linked to hormone disruption, reproductive damage, including fibroids and cancer. So this highlights that disproportionate exposure that Black women face because guess what? We are being targeted with these toxins.
Targeted by whom? Who's doing the targeting? I'm not even going to blame the hats for this one. Maybe in some weird third party way, the man behind the curtain type of thing. But I'm going to blame this on K-pop. I think the K-pops are trying to kill Black women. I know it's a crazy thought. I know. The K-pops are trying to wipe out the Black women because K-pop women want Black men all to themselves. I think we just cracked the code. The K-pops are trying to wipe out the Black women. It's always sexual competition, isn't it? It's always about the sexual competition. It's the K-pop women. They're trying to wipe out Black women. Said misery loves company. Oh, it's terrible.
Give us a sense, Coach Jesse, of the Detox Now program and the range of interventions that can certainly help us, please.
Well, first of all, Angela said it well. It's about resetting your body because any journey of healing starts with resetting your body through targeted fasting. And then to go through a phase of...
Speaking of resetting your body, a thought just occurred to me, right? Now, there's this idea, this story going around that Black women, they have like really dangerous pregnancies or whatever. You guys heard that? Black women, they can't deliver their babies properly. Things be happening. Nobody knows why. How many pregnant Black women also have weave or use like multiple hair care products? You know what I mean? Just generally speaking, has anyone looked into the pregnancy/hair care product link yet? Damn it, I think we're solving medical mysteries today. Hit that like button, guys. You don't get a lot of content like this. We are solving anthropological medical mysteries. Has anyone checked the hair care product Black pregnancy link yet? Is there a link between Black women with weave and bad pregnancies? I don't know. I'm just saying. Did you get a perm while you were pregnant? And little Jamal is tizzies, right? Now little Jamal has the tizzy, huh? Interesting. Let me write this down.
Balancing, right? So we have everything that supports a woman from PMS to menopause, through fibroids, through endo, through fertility issues. We have support system for that. We have a balancer kit and supplement for people who are either they had fibroid surgery or they're trying to prevent fibroids, or they are dealing with heavy cycles and they don't want to get them. But then also for people who are just trying to have a healthy lifestyle and want to change their lifestyle so that they can prevent these issues, or they're having health issues. We have to be the cavalry, Dr.
Hey, you know what's so funny? No Guarantee says, bring back the hot comb. I wouldn't be surprised if like hot comb lore literally goes back to slavery. Like, you don't even have to sell it to me. I know in my bones hot comb lore goes back to slavery. Because how else she's going to get a fancy nigga gal to, have that nice straight hair like Becky back in the day, like Plantation Becky. That's why they like weaves and all the chemical straighteners and whatnot. Because, that hot comb, it reminds them of back on the slavery days. The master used to put that hot comb to their head as a punishment. Listen. One of you guys are going to go down a Black history rabbit hole about hot combs, and I promise you're going to wind up on a plantation. I don't even know this to be true, but I know this to be true. It's in my bones. The hot comb goes back. The hot comb lore starts on a plantation.
We have to decide we're going to reclaim our health. The way that we're being poisoned in our society, and let's not even talk about the foods. Detox your beauty, detox your body so you can detox your life. I'm calling that the real BBL, Dr. Carr. Come get the real.
Ooh, y'all better stay away from them weaves. Oh, man. It's really true. I mean, it's really crazy how this is true. But a couple years ago, I don't know if the stat is still holding up, but a couple years ago, because of like abortion and whatnot, people were basically saying that you got like a 75% chance of not making it out of Black woman's womb in a place like New York City. And now I'm just thinking, if she got like a weave, she got like some Janet Jackson braids, if she had a perm during those 9 months, those numbers go up, man. Your chances get slim. You might make it out, but you're gonna come out a little funny. Like, it's rough, bro. It's rough. Anyway, let's talk about Section 8. You guys want to learn about how to make money on Section 8? I found a guy. He knows some things. Let's talk. Hit the like button.
Hey, Section 8. I don't know what this guy is saying, but if you want free housing for the rest of your natural life, listen up. I have 723 Section 8 rental properties across the United States, so I know a thing or two about free housing and how to game the government. Step 1, you're going to have to live in the Midwest or the Southeast where I buy Section 8 rental properties. Step 2, you're going to have $500 to $1,000 because you're going to have to bribe one of my existing Section 8 tenants to get on the lease with them and then be their roommate for several months. Step 3, you unfortunately still have to be poor, under $42,000 per year, and you also cannot be a convicted felon. And the last step is you're still going to have to pay their portion of the rent, which could be between $50 and $150 per month. So it's not really completely free, but close enough. Once a new vacancy comes up, I'll take the original tenant, move them to the new property, and you stay there by yourself on your own lease. This is the hack that I've done several times, and it works great. If you want to learn how to actually buy Section 8 rental properties, click the link in the bio. You can also get access to my software. I'll see you there. Card in celebration of Cinco de I'm going to give all 755 of my Section 8 tenants free rent for the month of May, along with a $100 Taco Bell gift card in celebration of Cinco de Mayo, aka Mexican Independence Day. First step, open up Cruise Control, my property management software. Let's load up the total resident text message list and send them the text. In celebration of Cinco de Mayo, you don't have to pay your rent for the month of May. You're also going to get a free $100 gift card to Taco Bell. See your property manager to collect. Now,
well, what is going on here, man? Section 8 sounds like you getting money. Section 8 sounds like an easy way to make some money.
First response got me feeling a little ignorant. He said Mexican Independence Day celebrated on September 16th, but he'll take the free rent. I did not know this. I appreciated the fact check. I told him I'd give him September rent for free as well. This guy was more concerned about his ethnicity. He said, I'm not a Mexican. Do I still get free rent? And I said, yes, even non-Mexicans get free rent as well. Some people were more logical. I've been already paid rent on the 1st. Am I going to get a refund? Yes, your $26 portion of the Section 8 rent has been refunded. Enjoy. This gentleman let me know the last time he ate Taco Bell, he was on the toilet for 2 hours. I said, that's very unfortunate, but don't forget, we are now renting out toilet bidets as a luxury amenity. He can add that on to his lease if he wishes. Now, keep in mind, it only cost me $65,000 to send out this text message because the other $1.2 million in Section 8 rents that
Wait.
I get
What did I just hear?
on the toilet for 2 hours. Enjoy. This gentleman let me know the last time he ate Taco Bell, he was on the toilet for 2 hours. I said, that's very unfortunate, but don't forget, we are now renting out toilet bidets as a luxury.
They rent bidets. Wow. You can rent a bidet in your little Section 8 apartment? I didn't even know. Pimping.
Amenity, he can add that on to his lease if he wishes. Now, keep in mind, it only cost me $65,000 to send out this text message because the other $1.2 million in Section 8 rents that I get comes from the federal government and not the tenant. If you have at least $15,000 in cash and you want to deploy it into building guaranteed rental income through the Section 8 program, I'm doing a free training this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Click the link in the bio. You will also get a free trial to my Section 8 deal finding software and property management software. Can't wait to see you guys there.
Bruh. Why am I not a Section 8 landlord? Why am I not? How come I can't be a Section 8 landlord? There's something going on here. We got to figure this out.
President Trump has repeatedly promised to make America affordable again, but his new budget proposal targets those most in need. NPR.
No, notice it's a black woman's voice reading this NPR article. How many white women you suppose work at NPR versus black women, but a black woman is reading this article?
Ludden reports it would dramatically shrink the subsidies that keep millions of people housed.
The White House budget would slash federal rental aid by 40% and limit that aid to 2 years for able-bodied adults. Kim Johnson with the National Low-Income Housing Coalition says if that were enacted, the fallout would be devastating.
We would see, I think, homelessness escalate in a way that has been really unprecedented and unheard of.
Homelessness is already at a record high. And
did I hear you say winter is coming? I was distracted. I could have sworn I heard you say winter is coming. Maybe it was just me. I don't know.
Half of U.S. renters struggle to pay for housing, but the Trump administration says the current aid system is dysfunctional and the overall budget too big. Now, Congress will get final say on the budget, and Kevin Corinth at the conservative American Enterprise Institute does not think lawmakers will pass deep cuts to housing, but he echoes many Republicans who do see a good case for scaling back.
Yes, PBS and NPR are going to be homeless with the black women too. Oh my God. PBS and NPR are going to be on the streets too. I hope we're happy. I'm happy. Are you happy?
To get people aid when they need it, but we don't necessarily want them to stay on it forever.
Many keep their subsidies well over a decade, in part, he says, because they can be generous.
You know, if the median or fair market rent is around, say, $4,000 for a family in San Francisco, your income can get really high and you're still going to be getting those subsidies.
Housing Secretary Scott.
Now, California is a hell of a place, bro. Their housing market, like they got people who make like probably 40, 50, 60 grand a year and they're homeless, sleeping in their car just because the housing market is so weird in California.
Turner says his agency's ultimate goal is to help get people off subsidies and be self-sufficient. Johnson, the housing advocate, says that's easier said than done.
If you're working 2 jobs, but you still can't afford the cost of rent, and then your assistance goes away, what more are you supposed to do?
Congress faces pressure to find major savings to pay for Trump's larger agenda, which includes sweeping tax cuts. Some Republican lawmakers have targeted health care and food aid, and communities around the country worry about a smaller safety net. Jessica Kubicki is with the Housing Collective, a nonprofit in Connecticut.
It is cheaper for a community, for a state, to have people in housing than to have them homeless.
Emergency rooms could be strained, she says, if people lose health insurance and turn to hospitals for care. Children in school suffer when their parents lose housing and have to squeeze in with family or friends.
Because you've got maybe 3 kids sleeping in the same room, in the same bed. They're not sleeping well. They're not doing.
You know the crazy thing about this, like, this is going to be a majority female issue, in that nobody really cares about men being homeless anyway. Like, you know, most of the homeless are men. Like 1 in 3 homeless are women. That means the other 75% are men. I mean, 1 in 4 are women, so the other 75% are men. But yeah, it's going to be mostly female issue. And that's why the government's going to try and do something about it, because women and children first. Screw the guys.
Well, they're not doing well educationally. They don't have food.
Adding to all these concerns, 60,000 emergency housing vouchers across the country will abruptly go away soon. They were funded during the pandemic, but skyrocketing rents have eaten up that money faster than planned. Housing advocates still hope Congress might cushion that blow, but they're also bracing in case it gets worse. Jennifer Ludden, NPR News, Washington.
Attention that the Housing Choice Voucher Program, also known as Section 8 housing, was put on pause by the Colorado Springs Housing Authority. The program helps low-income families, the elderly, veterans, and those with disabilities afford housing. And here's how it works. Those who are eligible are chosen through a lottery system and get their rent partially covered after an application process, with payment going straight to the landlord. The funding comes from the federal government through the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. HUD is reporting this helps 2.3 million families each year across the country. Now, I reached out to the Colorado Springs Housing Authority, or CSHA, a week ago. I didn't get a response right away, so I called several more times, still didn't get any answers to my questions. So I went to the office yesterday in person and handed off my business card. I heard back a few hours later from their executive director, Chad Wright. He tells me that their program was put on hold back in February because of funding constraints, adding that funding from HUD doesn't keep up with the need here, and this is, quote, anticipated to be the case in the future. Right now, Wright is telling me this does not impact households who already have vouchers. It only means they aren't issuing any new vouchers. Wright didn't have time for an on-camera interview, but answered all of my questions via email. Notifications were sent out to those who were in processing and had not been issued a voucher. CSHA is currently providing more than 1,700 households as of last night with vouchers, and more than 2,800 households are currently on a wait list. CSHA is waiting to receive guidance from HUD on funding for the program for the remainder of 2025. Wright telling me that they're trying to be responsible and not overspend, and that as of this week, the upcoming waitlist application period shouldn't be impacted. That's expected to come in July. It isn't clear if this impacts the program as a whole across the country. I did reach out to multiple housing authorities yesterday in Colorado, and I'm still waiting to hear back. But right now, there's no timeline on when the pause could be lifted in Colorado Springs. Reporting in studio, Tony Keith, News 5.
That could affect people using Section 8 housing programs. Voucher holders locally have received letters warning them of federal funding being halted and potential rent increases. Western Mass News reporter Matt Price did some digging for us on this, and he joins us live from downtown Springfield with more. Matt?
Chris, this just adds to the drama of so much uncertainty many face across this country. That includes those who rely on these vouchers for safe and affordable housing. On March 13th, the Commonwealth's Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities sent a letter to Section 8 voucher holders, warning them that their rent in the next year or two might go up because of, quote, rising costs and insufficient federal funding. And the agency will have to stop its flexible tenant policies. Here's some of what is stated in this letter obtained by Western Mass News this afternoon. It says, quote, unfortunately, we can no longer afford to offer many of these special policies to our participants, and will have to return to using many of the same policies that most other housing authorities use. The letter goes on to say, we understand that will increase costs for many households, but we made these choices to ensure that our program can serve as many households as possible given limited federal funding. Now, for context,
You know what's wild? And I've been talking about this. I've been kind of ranting about this for a couple of weeks now, but when I say how it seems like our government kind of exists to serve the interest of women, this is definitely not that. This is kind of the opposite of that. I don't know if this is gonna like really go unchallenged because the outcry is going to be huge. The backlash is going to be huge. But it's one of those things that kind of need to happen, like trim the fat. You know, Doge is partially responsible for this because they've been looking at the numbers all over and they're just like, listen, you can't run it like this. And so when the government gets out of the Section 8 business, when the federal government gets out of the Section 8 business and they just keep it straight up with state dollars, a lot of states have been running at a years-long deficit. Like Chicago was at a multi-billion-dollar deficit, I think, right? This is going to have huge problems. Like the knock-on effects are going to be crazy.
Here are some of those policy changes. EOHLC will no longer pay for a household security deposit, no more earned income deduction in rent calculation, no utility allowances for hot water and cooking, no extra grace period for lower payment standard changes, and $480 of a full-time student's income will be counted. Advocacy groups are keeping their eyes on these recent developments, including a rise for social justice here in Springfield. Housing and economic justice advocate and organizer Liz Busey says these changes will have a strongly negative impact and fears current Section 8 voucher holders are scared and are currently looking for other resources to survive.
Days notice is not enough to try and supplement your income. And supplementing your income is going to get you in trouble because you can't, not legally anyways. And so people are going to be suffering left and right. They're already looking for food pantries. I've had 3 calls about whether we have any utility money to help people pay, and that's just this morning.
Busey says this move could also mean an increase in evictions and homelessness. She also tells us the number of people sleeping in cars at the moment is going up. Right now, a Rise for Social Justice is collecting tents in case people need to sleep outside, and they are collecting information about services in the area. EHOLC says the change.
I know I was muted up. I was thinking about that billboard. I mean, that board behind the lady's head that said something about social justice, and Trump attacking a lot of these different government agencies and programs on a like federal professional level, and even kind of sort of on a economic populist level. He's just kind of going at his the base of his opponents, right? You got to imagine a lot of these people in the Section 8 housing and all that, for a lot of different reasons, they're most likely Democrat voters. You know, it's old school political philosophy: reward your friends and punish your enemies. That's how you keep your friends loyal, by the way.
Changes will go into effect on or after May 1st at the voucher holders' next regular or interim rent certification. We tried reaching out to EHOLC, EOHLC for comment on this matter, but we did not hear back. Stick with us both on air and online as we continue to follow the latest. Reporting live in downtown Springfield, Matt Price, Western Mass.
Housing Authority has stopped accepting new applications for the Section 8 voucher program, which subsidizes rent for tens of thousands of tenants in the city. The local authority, which is funded by the federal government, says it made that move because it doesn't expect Congress to provide enough money this year to maintain current operations. For now, the Housing Authority has only paused new applications. Those who currently have a Section 8 voucher are unaffected, and their rent subsidies will continue.
I wonder what this is going to do for Black dating. You know, you thought it was hard to keep a man before when you had this nice apartment that ain't cost no money. Imagine how difficult it's gonna be now when you actually got to pay, you know, real rent, and this nigga ain't got it. I wonder how much Section 8 affects the black love market.
The LA Housing Authority is no longer accepting Section 8 applications, which help subsidize rent. It's all due to federal funding cuts. Joining us now is the director of Section 8, Carlos Van Natter. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Can you just explain to people, this affects thousands in our area, and we already have such an unstable population when it comes to housing.
That's correct.
Damn, y'all say them 40 ball advertisements about to hit the street? The big head text about to come in hard and heavy? Oh, man. It's going to be interesting, huh? Yeah, I don't know. It just popped into my head. How does the Section 8 situation affect black love and black dating?
Can you just explain to people, this affects thousands in our area, and we already have such an unstable population when it comes to housing.
That's correct. At the Housing Authority, we assist over 60,000 families on the program, and this is going to impact new applicants getting onto the program.
So does this have to do with what we're talking about and we're seeing in Washington? Is this the trickle-down effect?
Exactly. In December, the Housing Authority learned that there would be a reduction in funding, a reduction that is translating to $47 million to $114 million. Which means that we won't have enough money to pay for the rental assistance for families through the end of the year.
So what does that mean?
So we have to take some cost containment measures to make sure we don't get to that point, because our highest priority is not terminating the assistance of people already on the program.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. If people are sitting at home and they may be on this program already, how concerned should they be?
If you're on Section 8 right now, you should not be concerned. We are not looking at terminating assistance of any families on the program. If you are on our waiting list, we are taking the action of suspending processing applications for 3,300 new families to get on the program. That is the sad reality that we have to take and step we have to take at the moment.
Are there other steps that can be taken?
There could be others that come. We have families that have vouchers on the street looking for units. At this time, families can continue to search for units, but it could come to pass in the future that we have to suspend those as well.
What does this really mean to our neighborhoods and, locally? Does this mean people move from our area to other places? Does this mean we have more of an unhoused population? What does this actually look like in people's communities?
The biggest impact would be that we could end up having more folks become homeless. Last year, we had a reduction of homelessness in the city, and this could lead to a reversal of that trend, which we do not want to see.
And I mean, we have such a problem already. This seems like it will.
Did LA really have a reduction of homelessness, or did the homeless just like migrate? Because I hear Los Angeles, like California in general, is just kind of rough.
Just contribute more to it potentially.
It will make it worse. Yes, we need the funding to keep the people housed that we currently are assisting, and we want to take more people off the street and get them housing. So this will really have an impact for those families who are currently homeless.
My apologies. I just realized we had a volume issue with this clip. Let's run it back. It's not that long of a clip.
To impact new applicants getting on to the program.
So does this have to do with what we're talking about and we're seeing in Washington? Is this the trickle-down effect?
Exactly. In December, the Housing Authority learned that there would be a reduction in funding, a reduction that is translating to $47 million to $114 million. Which means that we won't have enough money to pay for the rental assistance for families through the end of the year.
So what does that mean?
So we have to take some cost containment measures to make sure we don't get to that point, because our highest priority is not terminating the assistance of people already on the program.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. If people are sitting at home and they may be on this program already, how concerned should they be?
If you're on Section 8 right now, you should not be concerned. We are not looking at terminating assistance of any families on the program. If you are on our waiting list, we are taking the action of suspending processing applications for 3,300 new families to get on the program. That is the sad reality that we have to take and step we have to take at the moment.
Are there other steps that can be taken?
There could be others that come. We have families that have vouchers on the street looking for units. At this time, families can continue to search for units, but it could come to pass in the future that we have to suspend those as well.
What does this really mean to our neighborhoods and, locally? Does this mean people move from our area to other places? Does this mean we have more of an unhoused population? What does this actually look like in people's communities?
The biggest impact would be that we could end up having more folks become homeless. Last year, we had a reduction of homelessness in the city, and this could lead to a reversal of that trend, which we do not want to see.
And I mean, we have such a problem already. This seems like it will just contribute more to it, potentially.
It will make it worse, yes. We need the funding to keep the people housed that we currently are assisting, and we want to take more people off the street and get them housing. So this will really have an impact for those families who are currently homeless.
So can you talk a little bit about just if there is some light at the end of the tunnel, or when we could potentially see more funding, or what needs to take place for you to get the funding you need?
Yeah, so like everybody, we're keeping a close eye on what is going on this week in Washington, in Congress. We have seen some proposals that could help us. We'll see by Friday, the continuing resolution, March 14th is the deadline. If we get sufficient funding, we might not have to take the drastic measures that we are doing right now.
That potentially could come later too.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
A clue, yeah, John Galt's probably, who knows, but DC is rolling around in a lot of federal housing spending, and that money's going to get dried up. Shout out to John Galt, man. We'll see how this affects all the property stuff in the long run. But yeah, winter is here. Apparently Trump is snatching the rug right from under a lot of women. Lots of black women in the DC area. DC, they call it Chocolate City, man. They call it Chocolate City for a reason, man. It's going to be a lot of chocolate in the street now. Like a Hershey's truck just tipped over. Anyway. That's pretty much all I have to say about that little thing. I just kind of, you know what? I felt like live streaming today. I haven't been on air in a couple of days. There's not really much going on. I really was all that desperate to talk about. But I do got a couple of clips I did kind of want to review. I didn't know if I wanted to do some content, like edited videos on this or not. So let's just have a little freestyle session. Paul Pierce, the red pill love doctor, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like every relationship shouldn't be based off sex, but every relationship is based off of that.
I don't think so.
100%. You can't tell me nothing different. This is what I feel, and that's why I'll never be in another relationship, because it's always based off of that.
So you're not going to be in another relationship?
Hell no. For what? Because it's going to be based off the sex. Once that wear down, you're going to go find somebody else that's better. Yeah. But it ain't going to be based off of, this is the thing, and listen carefully. Listen carefully.
I'm listening.
Relationships, let me tell you what marriage is all about. Or let me tell you what marriage is and who's marriage for. Marriage is for old people and poor people.
What do you guys think about that, first of all? Do you think he's onto something? Marriage is for old people and poor people? And yeah, Carmen, that's a robe. I think this whole show is about, like, the theme of this show is like late night talk conversations. And so it's Paul Pierce and whatever the female host, and they have on pajamas and whatnot. But what do you guys think here? You got Truth, kind of true. He said it's kind of black pill. Freeman says no. I think it's partially true, in that there is a phase in your life where marriage is just way more, it makes way more sense. It's just a lot easier to slip into. But I don't think it's for young people. I think marriage for old people doesn't happen the way you think it happens. Like, old people don't typically just get married. The marriage rates for two people who just met over the age of 65, they don't even count that shit because it's not a thing. Marriage is not for old people. Marriage is for young people. Young people tend to be poor too, so he's right in that. Yeah, marriage is for the poor in that regard. However, when you look at it from just a practical modern standpoint, marriage today works better for the upper class because if you divorce, it doesn't punish the man like to the point of bankruptcy the way it would if you were like lower middle class. Like if you're just the average guy with a little bit of savings and a house, you lose your house and your savings in a marriage, right? But if you're like wealthy, you lose some of your wealth and still be wealthy, and it doesn't really hurt you the same as it would hurt a guy who's close to like the edge. And so I don't know if it's for poor people the way he's talking about, because when you're poor in the modern world, and in America anyway, women don't really have the same drive for marriage, the same incentive for marriage that you would have otherwise had before like the modern welfare state. So it's not necessarily for poor people in that regard either. But if you're young, it's the best time and the easiest time to get married. Other than that, I really don't know what it's for. Like if you're not getting married young, because if you marry young or at least relatively young and you can lock in for 20 years, then that's when you get to be old and married together, and or at least you have a shot at that. But I don't know if we can kind of recreate the older dynamic without doing what they used to do. Like we kind of threw the whole thing out. And the thing about Christian marriage, Donovan, is that youth, that part of your life, you're supposed to get all that sexual energy off with your wife. And so that's the idea of like marrying young and having a lot of babies. It's because you were having a lot of sex. You were doing all the things and it was fun. You were both at your hot prime and you enjoy every minute of it. You know, you guys remember what it's like to be 18 or 21 or whatever. And you know, you're just fresh, you know, everything is fresh and new. And so to have that under the confines of marriage in the Christian sense, I understand why that actually is, especially for the modern world, like living in, you know, modern life or whatever, it is probably a better setup if you compare the two, you know, Christian traditionalism compared to modernity. Yeah. It's better to kind of have a youthful Christian marriage than to be, you know, youthful sluts, male and female, right?
Okay, so let's get into that. Why?
Because when you broke, our parents, like my moms and all them, they married on a merit of like, okay, we're gonna put our incomes together, have all these kids, and then when our kids, we're gonna have 5, 10 kids. Back in the 60s, all them, they're gonna have 5, 10 kids so they can work and bring income.
Yeah.
So you poor. So you married for that. And now
even by the 60s, that was over. And the work and bring income thing is more of a rural farm life type of thing. As you get old, as we get away from American agrarian life, people just get up, get jobs, they move away from the family house and you know, they move away from the small towns and whatnot.
when you get old, somebody that to be by your side to take care of you. Right now, my mom got married. My mom never been married in my lifetime. She got married when she was 70.
Wow.
It was perfect. She had somebody by her side the whole way through.
So do you...
I really believe that. Like, that's what...
I believe your mom got married when she was 70 because her son is an NBA player. That was not going to happen otherwise, bro. They would have been two old people humping in a nursing home.
Like, outside of that, it's no advantage to a man. Why is marriage advantage? What advantage? What does it do for a man when things go south? Like, we gonna have to give up half our this, pay child support, but what do it's only advantageous to a woman. Like, it's real talk.
But what if you meet a woman and you're like, wow, she's a gem, she's valuable,
We
she's
could be
everything, and I
together.
want to lock.
I hate how women do this, and I can accept it from women because that's what women do. but men do this too, and it just irks the hell out of me that men do this. But like, you state just the structural reality of the situation, and you're confronted. They try to counter the structural reality with hopes and faith.
To a woman, like, it's real talk.
But what if you meet a woman and you're like, wow, she's a gem, she's valuable,
We
she's
could be
everything, and I
together.
want to lock her down in marriage?
I don't want to lock no woman down. We could be cool
So you're telling me right now today,
you
on January 4th, you do not want to be in a relationship ever again?
I don't think it's realistic long term until I turn 70.
I am done. I've never been more done with a motherfucker.
I'm 47 right now. Until I turn 70, that's the only realistic part I see, is because we both old. We ain't out in the streets. We at home watching TV. You go take me to the hospital, I'm gonna take you to the hospital.
Now, again, once you hit that age, how you gonna actually convince somebody at that age to actually be that person for you? It's not gonna work, bro. You gotta lock that in when you're young. He married to the game. He might as well just die with the game, bro. I don't know. He's thinking crazy, and you know, celebrities, Hollywood. You said he's a LA nigga, but this ain't gonna win, bro.
That's it.
It'll
But
win
right
for
now,
you, but not for the average.
I'm too cracking right now. So what do I need to
Is
do
it
all that
because you
for?
feel like you
What I
have-
need to do all that for?
You heard him. He too cracking right now. What I need to do all of that for? LA niggas, huh?
Do you feel like, why do you feel like men, especially NBA players, get with the white women? Is it because they're easy, quote unquote?
I got some theories, but I really want to hear from him.
I do too. I want to hear it too.
I honestly think that maybe they appreciate maybe more and they apologize more.
Listen, I'm scared.
Is that true? Do white women apologize more? I have no body of evidence to compare that to. Do white women apologize more? Like, what's the apology ratio for white women to black women? I bet it's astronomical now that I say that out loud.
Do you feel like, why do you feel like men, especially NBA players, get with the white women? Is it because they're easy, quote unquote?
I got some theories, but I really want to hear from him.
I do too. I want to hear it too.
I honestly think that maybe they appreciate maybe more and they apologize more.
Listen, I'm scared. Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Yes, I mean, you know,
I had an interview with
don't mind being held accountable.
I'm so scared of this, y'all, because I had an interview with Columbus Short and I asked him this similar question and he said something and I got dragged for filth. I was on Breakfast Club, I was on Share Roll, I had death threats for so long from black women because they said I laughed when he said that. So let me not laugh. I don't have nothing to do with this.
I mean, that's what
black.
I think. I don't
black.
know.
He don't know though, because he dates black women, period. So do not come for him, period.
I hate that he has to have that like protective wrap around him. Like, no, he says he can say that because he dates black women. So, you know, don't be mad at him. Like, you shouldn't have to have the I date black women protective wrapping just to be able to say something real.
Because I like my peace, first of all.
What if a woman brings you that?
There's no such thing as that.
You don't think there's no such thing as a woman bringing
There's
man
no
peace?
such thing as somebody living with you on a day-to-day basis is bringing peace. It's always going to be something because you're going to have a bad day where I'm having a good day and that's not going to be peaceful for me. I'm going to come home like, damn, baby, like I had a good... Something going to happen to where you going to hijack my emotions. So that's not peaceful. You feel me? Peace is peace. And peace.
Remember, he only dates black women, right? He's not one of those guys. He dates black women, right?
Because I like my peace, first of all. I like
What if a woman
peace.
brings you that?
There's no such thing as that.
Are you talking about black women? Shout out to Dick Thug with the $2 super chat. He says, I'm with one. Yes. Yeah, he must be with a white woman. And he's telling me, this is confirmation, white women apologize way more. Not that they're wrong way more, but they're way more willing to apologize if they happen to be wrong. I can dig it. But yeah, Paul Pierce, he dates black women, and he also says that it's impossible for a woman to bring him peace because he dates black women. I don't know. I don't know if they're connected. I don't know if these two things go together. Anyway, shout out to Dick Thug. Support the show, guys.
Give me wife, give me children, give me this, give me that, kill my enemy, kill my enemy, kill my enemy, kill my enemy, give me. Anyone that doesn't want me to succeed, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire. Give me this, give me that, kill my enemy, give me that, give me this, give me die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire.
Because I like my peace, first of all.
What if a woman brings you that?
There's no such thing as that.
You don't think there's no such thing as a woman bringing
There's
man
no
peace?
such thing as somebody living with you on a day-to-day basis is bringing peace. There's always going to be something, because you're going to have a bad day where I'll have a good day, and that's not going to be peaceful for me. I'm going to come home like, damn, baby, like I had a good... Something going to happen to where you going to hijack my emotions. So that's not peaceful. You feel me? Peace is peace. And peace is me by myself. I come home, I watch TV, I make my own food, I go to bed, I work out, I wake up at 5:30, I roll over in the bed, I lean this way, I fart, whatever I do, whatever. In my bed, that's peace. I'm cool. I can let loud snore, whatever. I ain't got nobody complaining about nothing. Because
I can't even argue with that. I ain't gonna lie. He was absolutely right about that. And especially when you kind of had both sort of living styles to compare it to. I mean, that single bachelor piece, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. The only thing that I'd be willing to exchange it for is like having children, but that I've done that. That part of my life is over. Check that box. But outside of that, yeah, there's nothing like bachelor peace. It's just a place like no other. And that's kind of what's interesting right now, especially like in this modern world where we got there's like channels where every day there's a new video about women complaining about can't find a man, and the men aren't menning anymore, and how come guys aren't approaching and all that. And it's a lot of guys just enjoying the silence, man. A lot of dudes on Depeche Mode right now. A lot of niggas on Depeche Mode. They're just enjoying the silence, bro. But anyway, I'm going to throw the link in the chat just for a little while in case you guys want to come up, chop it up, have a quick panel. Kind of having a little lazy day, so I don't really have anything particular I got to talk about, but maybe one of you mothers is interesting. Maybe one of you guys have something interesting to talk about. But anyway, the link is open. Take the link if you're brave or if you're bored. Either way, you guys let me know. What do you think about Paul Pierce and his red pill philosophies here? Yeah, you didn't expect the Depeche Mode shot, right? Yeah, deep cut. But Paul Pierce, red pill guru, he got like this whole late night love doctor podcast setup going on. Oh my goodness, look at this mess. This is another thing that's happening right now in like online in the online right wing world, and it's terrible. But we got to point this out, and I'm gonna be the guy to introduce it to you because that's what I do for you guys. I tell you what's really happening here. The right wing, and right wing isn't really the best word for it. The white wing, the white wing, is actually noticing how gay Black America is, just generally speaking. You know how like woke people will say things like the white cisgender heteronormative patriarchy, like that specific phrase or bits of that phrase, therefore linking the idea that being heterosexual as a norm is a white concept. They literally say that. Don't think I'm tripping here. I rarely lie to you guys, right? The idea that being straight as a normal way of being, as the majority way of being, is a white thing. It's something that the left-wing culture believes in, right? And one of the fascinating or regretful things that have happened recently is I've noticed the pro-white crowd, the white wing, they're really starting to point out just how gay like Black America is.
This year, in a first, Black men are the event's hosts. Actor Coleman Domingo, musicians Pharrell Williams and A$AP Rocky, and F1 driver Lewis Hamilton, each gracing a version of Vogue magazine's May issue.
You know who put this tweet out? This is obviously from Good Morning America, but you know who actually made this post? Like whose tweet? This is Jared Taylor. Can you imagine Jared Taylor? Try to do my best Jared Taylor voice. So it's quite obvious Black America is dealing with immense levels of homophobia, of homoeroticism, an eroticism of which they obviously did not get from white America.
This year, in a first, Black men are the event's hosts. Actor Coleman Domingo, musicians Pharrell Williams and A$AP Rocky, and F1 driver Lewis Hamilton, each gracing a version of Vogue magazine's May issue. The theme, superfine tailoring Black style, celebrating Black dandyism.
Dandyism to me is really about expression, Black expression.
You niggas dandies, bro? You niggas dandies? So y'all like flowers and shit, right? Y'all like fluorescent or whatever. Like y'all like floral. Y'all niggas floral. Like colorful foliage and shit. Y'all dandies. It's crazy. I gotta go find this whole clip, right? You know what? Let me see if I can pull up this whole Good Morning America clip, because these niggas is dandy, bro. I don't even know what to do with this right here. Let me see. I gotta pull this. I hope it's on their website. Let me see if it's on the YouTube channel. The Met Gala. Getting ready for the 2025 Met Gala. Black dandyism. Here we are.
What exactly is Black dandyism?
Yeah. What exactly is Black dandyism? I got to know. Why are Blacks dandy? Jared Taylor and I would both like to know, why are Blacks dandy? Shout out to Dick Thug with the $5 super chat. He says, we knew this when they put out the HIV commercials. Notice the individuals in the commercials. Yeah. We're just going to have to start using dandy as a slur. We're going to make them ban the word dandy.
Well, it's all about sharp creases, tailored suiting, and polished shoes. It's an exploration of Black identity.
Hey. Webster, you know what a handy dandy is, right? I mean, that's a pause. You know, I'm not saying that but I'm just asking in general, like, you know what a handy dandy is, right? Pause, bro. Like, seriously, you don't know? It's crazy. It's crazy. He's a handy dandy.
Identity and history, a reclamation really of dignity and expression. Here's a look at the evolution of dandyism. The Met Gala theme this year, superfine tailoring, black style. Pharrell Williams, Coleman Domingo, and A$AP Rocky are among co-hosts of this year's gala.
Look at all the handy dandies. Coleman Domingo, whatever his name is, he looks the handiest. I'm not gonna lie. And you know what? I remember when I saw this guy for the first time ever on The Walking Dead, but it was like the Mexico spinoff or whatever. They spent like most of the show in Mexico. So anyway, the Walking Dead family, they meet this rich black guy who has a boat somehow. And that's how they kind of get tied together. You know, they meet this guy, they escape whatever they're in, and then they're on his boat. And then we learn more about the rich black guy. Turns out he's a homosexual grifter, and that's his white husband's boat. And I've always felt weird about his character ever since then. Because as a character and as an actor, he played the character well. I don't dislike the character. I just hate that he's always a gay black dude, right? And now I'm looking at Coleman and his own, Met Gala appearance, and he looks very handy. He's quite the handy dandy indeed. I bet he gave a handy before that night was done. I bet a lot of handies happened in that Met Gala.
Black dandy style is not limited to the famous.
We're walking this way. Yes.
In honor of the theme, photographer Jay Monroe brought a group of self-described dandies together for a photo shoot in Harlem.
Yeah. I think dandyism is taking control of how you want to be seen.
Dandyism is confidence, style. It is elegance, audacious, and
do you really need like your own special little code word to just be well dressed? A lot of niggas always got to make something gay and exclusive.
it is pride.
These photos will appear in Quintessential Gentleman magazine.
The Quintessential Gentleman is a media platform that focuses on telling the positive stories of Black men.
I'm so elated to be a part of this history making.
This nigga look extra dandy. He got dandy glasses, bro. Why he got dandied all around the eyes, bro? Wow, what are you even watching here? What am I even watching here? Why your whole face is dandied up, bro? This is crazy work, bro. What are we even looking at? What's the world? What is happening in the world around me, man? Dudes just all dandied in the face. What's going on here, man? Adding extra steps, bro. Even Carmen says it just sounds gay, bro. Like you really trying too hard just to do something basic, man.
Moment.
It's a whole flock of dandies. That's what you call a group, right? A group of dandies together is a flock, right? Or maybe you call it like a dandelion. Like the plural of dandies. The plural of dandy is dandelion. So this would be a dandelion right here. There's a whole dandelion just walking down the street, just looking dandy together. That's the dandy. A zest of dandies. Oh, I didn't realize we could use zest in that way. I got to consult the handbook, but yeah, that kind of does work. A zest of dandies. Yo, I wonder what Kevin Samuels would really have to say about the zest of dandies right here. Because, even when this was a thing for like a good year straight. They did like 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 of these things, right? On Twitter, it'd be a bunch of black dudes who got together just to put on suits and like take pictures. Like, it was just like you said, Freeman's Journal. It was a bunch of dudes playing dress up, right? And it was a whole viral thing on Twitter. And it was like this idea, like, yeah, black men, we're not just thugs. We don't just wear hoodies. We're well dressed. We're dandies. And on the one hand, I'm not against guys wearing sharp suits and looking like their best and all that stuff. So I'm not really going to criticize it on the aesthetic level. However, I think Friedman just kind of nailed what I hated about the whole thing. Like, niggas getting dressed up just to, be dressed up. That shit's kind of gay. That's what girls do. That's literally what women do. Like, let's go put on some clothes just to feel fabulous. That's female behavior one-on-one. That's what Saturdays in girl life is for. And it was like this whole Twitter trend of, now I realize what it was called. It was, niggas being dandies and shit. But I didn't really have the proper framing for it right when it happened. I had to think it over for a little while. But yeah, dandyism. That's what it was. And I hated it because this niggas getting dressed up to take pictures like hoes.
This moment, this celebration of style, with origins which stretch back over 2 centuries to the American Revolution and George Washington's enslaved valet, William Lee.
He took care of George Washington's wardrobe.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
All throughout the Revolutionary War. So he had a vast knowledge of European dress and style.
He's really quite...
I was muted up. So dandyism goes back to slavery, apparently, huh? That's what it is. Dandyism goes all the way back to slavery. George Washington's well-dressed Negro. That was like Django. Did George Washington have his very own Django?
Centuries to the American Revolution and George Washington's enslaved valet, William Lee.
He took care of George Washington's wardrobe all throughout the Revolutionary War. So he had a vast knowledge of European dress and style.
He's really quite Natalie attired with the red headdress.
Oh, yeah.
He knew all about the white man's fine clothing.
Yeah, we see him in portraiture alongside George Washington.
Is that Dwayne Wade? Another Hollywood dandy. Yeah. Not only was we slaves, we was dandies and we was kings, bro. We was everything. We was our thing.
Wait, what? Great. Now, what's our motto? We was kings. We was kings!
Washington with his turbans, with a vibrant note of color.
That was significant.
What William Lee was able to do was make an expression about his Black self, even despite his position as a slave.
And talk about self-expression. The most photographed man in America in the 19th century was abolitionist and writer Frederick Douglass.
Don't tell me Frederick Douglass was a dandy. Dandy Douglas, that's what they used to call him. Dandy Dougie. Yeah. Dandy Dougie, the old free slave nigga.
Douglass. He grew up enslaved, and when he sat for a portrait, he always wore a suit and tie.
And he chose to use his dress to kind of combat and subvert.
How come when a black dude wears a suit and tie, you got to make it a whole thing? Like, no, he didn't just wear a suit and tie. He was a dandy. Jesus Christ. Why you got to make everybody a gay?
Grotesque stereotypes about Black people at the time. He wanted to show that he was dignified, that he was intelligent. He actually wrote about clothing and how powerful it is to the Black image.
And in the 20s and 30s in New York City, the Black image was celebrated in a great cultural resurgence known as the Harlem Renaissance. It was a vibrant explosion of African American art, literature, and music centered in Harlem.
You can't talk about Harlem Renaissance without that zoot suit.
The zoot suit was a symbol of Black resourcefulness, making do with what was available.
It was mismatched suit. It was 3 times too big. And you took it to the dude in your neighborhood who knew how to kind of tweak it. You wanted those nice flowy pants because when you got to the Cotton Club and you were swinging it,
So you could dance.
You wanted that movement, right?
My parents in their Sunday best. Over the years, my sisters and I often tailored to perfection.
This is a race car dandy? Niggas is dandying at 180 miles per hour? This is the fastest dandy in the world?
If you grew up in the Black church as I did, that was when people really had a chance to express themselves and I guess show who they were.
That's so true. You might have had a blue collar job where, you wore a uniform, and Sunday.
As we all know Coleman's a professional dandy, bro. He's a practicing dandy. You don't have to spam the chat with rainbows. We know.
Was that one day where you?
Let me stop for a minute. Welcome to the show, Freeman's Journal, man. Help me out here, bro. What the hell is a dandy, and why is it so weird? Why can't a black man just wear a suit without being gay?
It's always got to be something extra, It's got to be something else. I mean, you can't just wear a suit, right? And it's not as if there aren't black men that are just wearing suits, but it's not quote unquote, you can't brand it, right? That's what everybody else is doing. It's got to be this other thing. I don't know why, but I don't know.
Well, white men wear suits. Black men, they dandy it up.
No, black men wear suits too. They're just invisible.
Well, no, the black men that wear suits are doing, they're like white men. That's what makes them invisible. But the black men, these guys, they dandy it up. That makes it, I don't know, black or something. Like literally makes it black. Yeah, I guess that's how it works. It's weird. Dandies. Dandy life go hard.
You are off work. The pew of the church is really the front row of the fashion runway for Black people. And I think that is so intrinsic to our culture.
And a man who's been innovating that fashion runway for more than 5 decades is celebrity designer and Harlem native Dapper Dan.
I think his work is really important because in the 70s on into the 80s, hip hop was.
Now, he really is an OG though. Dapper Dan is like a legit kind of talent, and that very few people take make something unique or do something completely unique. And so back in the day, I don't really know exactly how this came to be, but Dapper Dan, he was famous for getting actual, like, I guess, throwaway fabrics from these brand name high fashion brands, and he would take the throwaway fabrics and then make his own custom cuts. And then, like, rappers and drug dealers and black performers and whatnot, they started buying his stuff. But in a lot of ways, he did kind of like urbanize high fashion, I guess, is really what Dapper Dan is like famous for. Because before Dapper Dan, I don't know if the high fashion world was making a hard appeal. There were no overtures to the urban crowd. I think he pioneered urban high fashion, I guess is what I'm looking for.
Rising. And what it did was create a bunch of very young millionaires, LL Cool J, Run DMC. But these European luxury houses were not interested in associating with hip hop or acknowledging the Black consumer. And Dapper Dan said, well, if you're not going to talk to the Black audience, maybe I can figure out a way to do it.
I didn't do knockoffs. I did knockups. We take things that already exist and fashion them into who we are. The magic is in what you wear.
Today, at age 80, he's still working, collaborating with Gucci, among others.
So it's come full circle where now these luxury houses do want to speak to the Black consumer. And Dapper Dan was already doing that decades ago.
But being a Black dandy is not just about being a man.
Not just about being a man? Is it about
right,
being
like
a man at all?
It was about being a. First of all, it was originally about being a man, and now it's freaking chicks are making that. That's why it's gay now, because you let the women make the rules. When it was just the dudes, it wasn't quite as gay. They were like fashion forward. They were, who's that nigga on the nag? Now it's like, oh, the girls are here. Everybody look busy. Oh, man. Let's see what's the woman side of dandyism.
I do want to speak to the Black consumer, and Dapper Dan was already doing that decades ago.
But being a Black dandy is not just about being a man.
Janelle Monáe.
I mean, the dandy herself, right? She was just really early to the game in challenging gender norms to make a statement about sexuality through your clothing.
And the Met costume exhibit.
See what I mean about making it gay? Up until this part of the conversation, dandyism was not about gender norms. It started with George Washington and his fresh Black slave. I think it was fresh to death in slavery days. Shout out to him. And only when we fast forward to modern times and women are in the movement, oh, it's about challenging gender norms, right? Because you want to do something gay. Why, girls? What is your obsession with making male spaces gay? I know what it is, but I need you to confess. I want you to say it out loud.
Just really early to the game in challenging gender norms to make a statement about sexuality through your clothing.
And the Met costume exhibit pays homage to Andre Leon Talley, the iconic former Vogue editor who sadly passed away just a few years ago.
He would have embraced this big time, right?
He is the dandy, right? He did so much work to mentor very many Black designers to amplify their work. So I think people are a little disappointed that he's not here to witness it, but one of his suits is in the collection. So we are excited to see that he's acknowledged.
So were dandies always gay, or did they just get taken over like everything else eventually? Like, was George Washington's fresh Black slave, was he secretly gay, or did he just like get fresh because that's, white women like that kind of stuff? I'm not willing to believe just, right off bat that George Washington's fresh to death Black slave, he was only getting fresh because he was gay. I'm willing to believe, there was some white women like, oh, look at this fancy nigga. And it worked for him. I think the dandies took over. I think the gays took over the dandy culture. Because, I mean, if you think about it, like, how many straight men really want to spend that much time creating that perfect look, right? So I don't know. I think the dandies, they got dominated. That's nasty. So nasty. But yeah, I think the dandies, they got taken over by the gays eventually. Plus, they let the girls in too, so there's that.
And back in Harlem, Jay Monroe's photo shoot, an acknowledgement of dandyism and its power in the community.
We had to what we call assimilate, but we assimilated in our own way, and understanding that our culture comes with its own history and its own expression.
There you go. That was nice.
So we're all dandies now. That happened today. And the white man is noticing, like I said, that the initial clip that I caught wind of that from came from Jared Taylor. Why is the Black community full of dandies and criminals?
Yeah, because it's a matriarchy.
Jeez.
It's like, what I noticed? It's who is that? Anton Daniels, right? He had this video, and this white woman is talking about why Black women get mad when they date Black men, and basically the whole thing is, my take on it was open competition, right? Blatant open competition, right? You have the Black community, right, which is celebrating the dandies and the female, and other females are like, well, if y'all don't want them, right? Sign me up. And it's like this, the momentum's already there. It's just going to accelerate, right? Heterosexual black men are like, are headed to the wind, man. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I wonder how this dandy thing is going to affect, how the Section 8 market's going to affect this dandy thing. Let me share this next one with you guys.
Stop complaining about men having audacity when you calling their ass medium fucking ugly. The problem is y'all keep letting ugly men have confidence. We need to go back to shaming ugly men. That's why so many fucking gargoyles and monsters in the fucking club.
And, you know, people criticize me because I'm not afraid to criticize women, apparently. Like, I don't even like have a purely hateful. I'm not even as aggressive as this woman is when I criticize women. I just notice things, you know what I mean? And I say them plainly. But she seems really upset. Why is she upset, bro? Freeman, what's going on with this chick? Why she sound like a Brownsville nigga?
Because she probably inhales blacks.
Smoke black and miles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
inhales them. But
Oh,
here's the thing, man. It's part of this not knowing how to judge men, right? Judging men based on their looks is foolish. All right, especially for a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but hold on. If you're a woman who actually has a certain level of financial stability provided for by like the white man's magical government, you need a pretty nigga. Then you know, pretty nigga is what you want, right?
Yeah, you can have the luxury of trying to judge men by their looks, right? If you've already got, that's what I was saying before, man. Only one sex has adjusted to women having freedom and income, and that's women, right? Men have not adjusted. So
you know what? I'm gonna say something else, Freeman's Journal. There are a lot of people, and I'm one of these people, but I just don't say it all the time. But there are a lot of people who firmly believe men are just better human beings than women. And I think men over the whole, because obviously there are people at the ends of both spectrums or whatever. But generally speaking, you can judge on something like this. Men are far more charitable to unattractive women than women are to unattractive men.
Yeah,
unattractive women will still get favors. If an unattractive woman is at the least nice and pleasant, oh God, sky is still the limit for her. She'll be surprised at how well she can do every now and then. Unattractive man, dead. That nigga's dead to the world. There's nothing, nothing anyone's gonna do for him. Male or female. You most guys be like, look at this funny looking nigga. If you don't get the fuck away from me.
Yes, that's because they are born with value. Men are not, you know. If you a little troglodyte looking dude, it's hard to move up the food chain and up the totem pole.
Right. You better be, you know, charming or something. You better know some jokes or something. Like
Right.
You gotta have some other hidden gems. You can't just be worthless as a man. You have to have physical or internal value. One way or the other, you got to put something in this game.
Yeah, so
holding up the sections, holding up the space, looking scary, rawr. Because y'all keep calling them medium ugly. Y'all keep calling short niggas handsome kings. You need to call these niggas what the fuck they is. You're hideous. Your hairline is very strange. The size of your head is not proportionate to your fucking body. You have a bird chest. Your arms is too skinny. Why you be in the gyms and your legs are skinny? We need to start calling them the fuck out. They don't hesitate to tell bitches what they don't like about us. They don't like our hair. They don't like our edges. They don't like our lashes. They don't like our birthday fucking makeup. They got everything the fuck.
I don't like your soul. Is that a valid criticism? Like you just have an ugly aura. Like you just farmed all the negative aura. You don't farm none of the good aura. Good aura doesn't like you. You just bad aura inside and out. You got Rob liquor store aura.
Yeah, she'll send her boyfriend on a suicide mission for a bag of chips so he can get stabbed by the owner of the bodega.
Right. You got crash dummy pussy aura.
And then y'all be over here, oh, he's just medium ugly. I mean, he's all right. He got money. Y'all be letting them think the fucking money, the Casablanca shirts and the Mary jeans is a fucking up. And that's why they be fucking playing with y'all. Oh, they got audacity. You gave them the audacity. Y'all stop calling niggas ugly. I don't know what the fuck happened. Medium ugly. I wish I would give some.
I feel like you wishing for the wrong thing. Like, if you legit had a shot at free wishes, wishing a nigga would, that should be the last thing you do, all right? Because there's so many more, like your face, baby, your face. Stop before you waste wishes. Your face, baby. You're gonna wait. Let me show you a mirror, and then you think about, because you're not gonna get infinite wishes. And wishing a nigga would, that's just a waste of wish when you got that face right there. But anyway. Medium ugly. This is, men don't have a word for medium ugly when it comes to women. Girls are either, smash or pass, and then it's like wife or not. It's really like a binary. It's layers of binary with men. Smash or pass, wife or not. All the harshness, we do that for fun. We don't necessarily do that to y'all directly, but she's just like up here, medium ugly niggas need to hang. Like, damn. I don't feel like you have the beauty credentials to make this type of argument. Let me see. What else do we have in these crates here? Oh God, I see Ratchet. I'm scrolling down my timeline and I saw wig, weave, and eyebrow. I don't know if that's a wig or a weave, but I saw the combination in the eyebrow. All right. I feel like something Ratchet's going on here. I feel like something really ratchet is about to happen here. Give me 1 second. I have to reset something. I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, let's share the screen. All right, what's this? All right, I hope this isn't too much profanity.
Hey, Charles, how you doing?
What's happening, sweetheart?
I'm doing all right. I'm out at the grocery store. What would you like today? What you thinking? I know you're at work and busy.
Baby, I want some turkey necks.
Turkey neck? With what?
Yeah, turkey necks and some crowded peas, some rice,
Mm-hmm.
and some jiffy cornbread. That's all.
Country niggas get on my damn nerves, man. I do not want to click on a random video between a couple and she asking what he want, and this nigga say turkey neck. I'm thinking he gonna say a shrimp. Baby, give me that big old steak I seen up there yesterday when we was looking at it on the website. This nigga, I want turkey neck. I had country niggas, man. I'll tell you, but country niggas be ruining all my videos.
Hey man. So, some brothers like turkey necks, man. It's just how it is, man.
Look, I want neck bones, baby. God damn, look, you sound like two fat people in a marriage and shit. And she don't even look fat like that, but damn, that was a fat black thing to say. I want turkey necks, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Pig feet. It could be worse, right?
Yeah, all right, all right, I'm gonna forgive him. Just now that you say that, I'm gonna forgive the turkey neck thing.
You want the blueberry one or the regular?
The regular.
Okay, I'll get me a blueberry for myself.
But if we just get the blueberry, we ain't gotta do all that. We're gonna put you out.
It's okay. I like to make what you like. Ain't nothing. A little extra. So how's work going?
Well, I left work early. I went to physical therapy.
What happened?
My whole leg bothers. You know what I'm saying? You keep putting me in that shit and do not get that. I can hardly get out of bed in the morning sometimes.
How you tired? Well, maybe you need to go. Should I have your tub ready with some Epsom salt, or would you want me to just go ahead and rub the stuff on your leg that the doctors gave you?
Just rub the stuff on the leg. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Oh, they so old. It's cute. Oh, they old together. That's nice. Turkey necks and back rubs and Ben Gay and shit.
Well, you had to rub on that third leg because you know, been a couple of days since you done.
Hey, they rub on that third leg now.
I got you. I always do, baby, don't I?
She gonna rub some Ben Gay on the third leg and be aching. It be aching. Oh, I'm about sick of these country niggas. God damn it. I'm happy they happy though, but I'm sick of you country niggas.
You know,
I
the
tell
other day
you.
you came in a bad mood, so I wanted to give you some space. You know, I
Man,
didn't.
you know, it's them damn children, man. You know what I'm saying? These damn kids of mine, they get on my damn nerves.
You know, your kids is my kids because I ain't never had no kids. The nieces and nephews drive me crazy. So, you know, when you
I know, but listen, baby, I don't want my kids, so I can relate.
You don't want what? Don't do them like that. Y'all just had an argument. Don't do them like that. Don't do them like that, Charles. They just growing up.
The only time you see them is when they need something.
I feel like I'm playing the advertisement for dating women over 50. Like, it ain't that bad, huh? It don't look that bad to it.
Get your little
buy some neck bones.
Neck bones and Ben Gay. What else you need?
I'm telling you, you ain't never had your third leg rubbed with Ben Gay before. I'm trying to tell you, it's a whole other type of life out here when you get a little older, man. Go and get you an older gal. See if you don't like it a little bit. Oh, man, this is wild. This is like a whole infomercial. What the hell I done stumbled on? Look, she's selling well. I ain't even mad at her.
Is she? That's what this was Monique's pitch.
Monique was the wrong one to pitch that. She just didn't have the right energy, the right reputation and all that. She kind of got that battle axe type energy. Like, she'd tell her man what to do and he'd be scared of her when she come home off tour and shit. And so she's the wrong one to make that pitch though.
Yeah, you don't need a woman that looks like I said you don't need a woman that looks like a garbage truck telling you who to date.
Yeah. The salesman, the messenger, it matters.
Yeah,
you know that's how them kids are. They're a piece of shit. They love you though. They love you.
When I ain't giving them some money, I'm some shit.
That's how they do you.
That's how they do you, baby. That's how they do you.
You know, you spoil everybody, so you know.
I'm gonna get me an old broad so I can call her up and complain about my kids. You know, this girl asked me to buy her like a $300 wig for the prom. I ain't even want. I was about to go off and I didn't. I just said no in the text and just a one-word answer. I just kept my energy bottled up.
You know, you lucky. You know what I'm saying? You don't hit the Powerball. All you gotta do is just cash in the ticket.
That's right, baby. Well, I'm gonna let you go ahead and get back to work, okay? And no, you at the physical therapy. So what time you coming home?
I'll be home probably about 6 or 7. Yeah, I may want to stop.
Okay, baby. Well, I'll see you when you get home, and I'll have everything ready for your turkey necks. And yeah, just let me know if you need anything. I'll be here.
All right, baby.
All right, baby. Talk to you later.
Ooh, goddamn black love infomercial. At least somebody happy. American Man says she sound like a side chick. Even if she is happy, is happy. A lot of girls are happier in the 2 slot. It's less pressure, less performance anxiety from the 2 slot. Black folk behaving badly. You know, I don't even know if I want to play this clip because I know it's gonna be all kind of profanity. I ain't gonna risk it. It's too much going on here. Did you know there was a viral video recently of some Chinese girl in China? Apparently, she was like harassing this black girl, calling her niggas and all type of N-words and saying, "Oh yeah, my boyfriend is your master." She was getting real fly with her, right? So that video went viral. And I guess China don't play that. You're not allowed to make us look bad in public. We're racist, but we're not gonna, look bad doing it. And so China made her apologize.
Totally sorry for what I have done. I think we're all humans, and why I have such an opinion because my ex-boyfriend, he was brainwashing me for a long time, and now I realize it's totally wrong. I shouldn't put my personal emotions on others. I think we are all the same. And you're cultivated, you have quality, you know about culture, and you teach English. So I think you probably, in some ways, you're even better than me. And I shouldn't even have such things. I'm really sorry for that. Forgive you.
The Chinese girl told the black girl, "In some ways, you are even better than me." And then they hugged. This is what weaponized diversity looks like. And notice China uses it as a punishment on their own citizens. Listen, China is ruthless. China, they will invent a torture just for you. This has never been done before in 1,000 years. It's just for you.
Oh, and she gave her a hug. I didn't see that part. Oh, snap.
Yeah, bro. Look, Russia would have never. Look, Adolf would have never. Adolf would have never forced his people to live this way, bro. That's what cracks me up when Europeans right now, they're forced to eat kebab outside of the 24-hour gay parade. And then they say shit to you like, "At least we're not speaking German." Oh, that's all hilarious, man. Tucker Carlson, he ripped the scab right off of that thing. Like, is this what winning looks like?
Bro, they were like, "Hey, we need Africa. We still need Africa. What you doing? Better get over there and hug her."
Right. They're not really at that point of colonization where we can just start going crazy. Like, we can't go ham just yet. Just chill.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you notice how all the Chinese trolls disappeared from Twitter all of a sudden?
Yeah, I remember you said something about that. It's true. It's true. All the secret inside Temu videos. Remember, everybody realized that Gucci bags only cost 50 cents to make. And like, why am I paying $2,500 for a bag that costs 50 cents production value? It's like, hey, it's because you're rich.
Yeah, but it disappeared as quickly as they came. Man.
Not only that, a lot of the pro-China videos have kind of dried up too, I noticed. Just like, oh my God, look at the Chinese technology. 1 million drones in the sky doing a Donald Trump dance. Like, wow, China's so technologically advanced. And all those videos kind of dried up too, I noticed.
Yeah, man. They're like probably they weren't demoralizing. They were galvanizing. They're like, "Hey, wait a minute. This is not the intended effect. We're about to tick them off."
Well, the trade war strategies, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And they had what is that? That I think Korean reporter. Korean reporter got some pictures of some Chinese diplomats at the Treasury. Everybody's like, "Oh, I guess they do want to make a deal."
You know what? This is like the story that white folk really do have their cause right now, and I'm tempted to do another stream on this. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow with it because I hate to like cover the same thing over and over and over again. But Joan of Arc, I think niggas are more mad at her than white people are supporting her. And the black anger is having like an echo effect, or well, not echo, but like it's mad. The black anger is feeding the white support. And so the madder black people get, and the more videos and the more threats, that's really the key. The more threatening videos black people make about this girl, the more money white people give to her. And it just won't go away.
Someone that called the 5-year-old the N-word has raised $700,000 and is headed towards $1 million. But it gets worse. The donators are leaving things like he deserved it. In her info for why she wants the money, she said she called him what he is because he deserved it. They're using horrible, horrible names to donate her money. She's getting donations by the minute, by the way. There is no justice. This serves no purpose. This does nothing but harm. People are also mass reporting this page and reporting them to the Better Business Bureau. However, nothing's getting done. And some people have gotten responses from the owners of the page who basically said, not my problem. This is a Christian donation site, by the way. Christian donation site. So cool. We now have another boycott called...
Tell me in the Bible where it says you can't be racist. I'll wait. Any churchgoers, any believers, any book readers in the chat, tell me in the Bible where it says you can't be racist. It says you can't be gay. Pretty sure it says something about usury in there somewhere. It says you got to worship God and no other God. Pretty sure racism you can get a pass for. Niggas are gonna be shocked. Niggas, there's gonna be a lot of shocked church-going niggas when they get into heaven and all of their racist enemies from childhood are in there. Like, hi, glad you could make it, bud. Oh God, and that needs to be a skit. That needs to be like a Saturday Night Live skit. Look, because racism is not in the Bible. So you got to imagine, you really have to, like Bull Connor just might be in heaven waiting for niggas, bro. No beef. No beef. Look, he going to be at the pearly gates with a hose, but it's going to be dry, though. He's just going to be messing with you. The hose don't even work. It's not even connected to nothing. He's just standing there fucking with you niggas. Oh, God. Could you imagine? Could you imagine, like, because I mean, yeah, nigalations 1 of 1, thou shalt not be racist. How many slaveholders are in heaven? Oh God, and they'll just be the friendliest guys. Oh yeah, Michael told us the Philly, you dark fellas will be coming around any day now. Oh no. Oh God. What if that's why black folk stopped going to church, man? Because they realized all the racists were waiting for them in heaven. Oh jeez. Oh geez, it just got dark. It just got a little sad. I always make my jokes dark. They always end off on a dark, sad note. This is why I need a co-host to bring me back off the cliff.
There is no justice. This serves no purpose. This does nothing but harm. People are also mass reporting this page and reporting them to the Better Business Bureau. However, nothing's getting done. And some people have gotten responses from the owners of the page who basically said, not my problem. This is a Christian donation site, by the way. Christian donation site. So cool. We now have another boycott called Give, Send, Go. Give, Send, Go, you have one option. You can show the entire world what you are, what you represent, and what you stand for. Also, what you think Christianity represents. You go take a look at those donations you're receiving and you tell me what you think. And if the
What doesn't that mean he has to boycott? Wait, hold on. Doesn't this mean he has to boycott Carmelo Anthony?
No. Why would that mean that? No. Some white guy tell you that? No.
Carmelo Anthony's on the same site, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, Freeman. Why would he be? Why would he? No. Speak English, nigga. Speak English.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Same site, two dichotomies. I don't get it.
Hey, man. Nigga logic, bro.
The money is worth sacrificing morals, values, and your own character. I also want to say people have responded by starting a small fundraiser for the little boy that got called the N-word, and they raised a good amount of money as well. And they've
I'm sorry. This nigga mouth so big, it looked like everything he says in slow motion. Like it just takes his mouth a little bit longer to actually form the words and all the sounds and shit. Like it just sounded weird. I think maybe the video is edited, the audio is a little bit off, maybe.
Goddamn. Jim Crow lips. You're just like, what is going on?
This nigga mouth on CPT right now. Like, it is really the video. I think the video edit is just a little bit out of sync with the audio, but
you just got
that happens every now and then for some reason. Well, yeah,
really
that is just like that should just look weird. Nigga too close to the camera. If he put the camera on the other side of the room, he got to put his. And it's like his cell phone too, so he got to put his phone on the other side of the room and then stand up and talk, and it'll look like it's happening at normal speed. Oh man, these Jim Crow niggas be killing me.
already closed it because they have ethics, morals, values, and character. If racists want to spend their pool of money together, understand you're a very small population in this country, and any businesses that support that will be exiled from our money. And we won't forget, this is...
You know what? Oh,
our money? What?
Niggas, our money, bro.
Spend their pool of money together. Understand you're a very small population in this country, and any businesses that support that will be exiled from our money. And we won't
what is
forget,
this? What is this? There's this. It's only online too. Look, in real life, no one knows about this, bro. In real life, no one knows.
Do you think black people really hurt Target with their boycott?
No, black people are not united in how they spend money. They're not. There's no.
Yeah, that's for one.
Yeah, that's retarded. They're black people do not like spend as a block, right? You can't. You have two entirely different dichotomies. All the black people with money, are like completely separate from all the broke ones. I mean, there's a huge gulf, right? And the black people that are functional that still want to participate in this protest nonsense are extremely small. What are they going to do? Where are they going to spend their money somehow and change something? Man, come on. It's not happening. It's not. Most people spend most of their money on. Oh, go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
No, I was going to say most people spend most of their money on housing, on transportation, and groceries. Right? What you have left is like maybe you can do something with that, but what are you going to do? What are black people going to boycott Carnival? I mean, come on.
I wasn't really interested in this next topic I'm going to bring up because honestly, like covering a lot of the black stuff, it's just like, I don't know, emotionally depressing. Like you just get like physically like heavier when you talk about too much black stuff. So I kind of don't like to get into all these horrible stories every single time they happen. But when you want to do content, you kind of can't help it, right? So your son is out joyriding or whatever in a stolen car, and he gets pulled over by the police. He's armed. He runs. He gets shot by the police. Do you then, as the grieving father, decide to mow down a random cop doing some kind of crosswalk detail? Like a little traffic cop. Not even a traffic cop, a crosswalk guard, like a walking guard. What do you call that? You know, like old ladies be doing crossing guard stuff around schools. That's where we at right now. And he's got about $4,000 raised in his little Gibson he's got a GoFundMe Wow, there's a GoFundMe for Rodney Hinton Jr. and his son. Get out. That's where we are now, huh? Yeah, exhausting, bro. You see what I mean? Exhausting. $4,000. Give, send, go. At the very least, this isn't a black superstar kind of thing. Like, he didn't become a Carmelo Anthony. And I'm glad he didn't, because these niggas will bring racism back even more than Carmelo. Like, the noticing is just getting, the noticing has been amplified. It's like every day people notice a little bit harder.
My name is Marlon. I'm Ryan Cousin. My condolences to everybody involved in this. I want to say, Ryan, I'm so sorry. God, please watch over the rest of my family. I want to address all the negativity and saying he was being a stolen car, this and that. Listen, he was supposed to be at home that night and shit. Let me get this out.
He obviously wasn't. He wasn't home. Say something about that. Don't tell us what he was supposed to be doing. Tell us about what he was doing.
Car, man. He had a bed to come home to. He slept in a car. He couldn't get in a house. All right.
Hey, Hood.
Can't get in the house. He called me.
And they're gonna have to bring back the PSA, man. Like, it's 6 o'clock. You know where your kids are.
Right. I mean, they did it for 10 o'clock, but they might have to bring it down to a reasonable 8. 9 o'clock, all right? 9 o'clock. You need to know where your kids are. They might be outside getting chased by the police.
Dude, like, why did he have a gun?
I don't know.
Because, you know, people are like, oh, he didn't have the gun in his hand. I'm like, why do you have a gun at all?
Right. And this is why, like, and you can't debate this kind of stuff with you know, the black crowd, because it's not even about the facts of it anymore. Like, you see with the Carmelo thing and with this Shiloh chick, it's really just about the team score at that point, right? And so they really don't care about the general argument. Like, if your kids are out in the street engaging in street activities, it might get them killed. All right.
You remember that old timeless saying, live by the sword?
You live by the gun, you die by the gun. And
I'm like,
look,
yo,
I've had close calls too. Like, there's nights I'm like, shit, I'm never doing that again, right? But you can't be surprised when it actually happens to your kid. Like, this is why I go out of my way. I try to make sure I spend money I probably shouldn't spend so I can go be involved with my children, especially my son, because I know there's going to come a day when the streets are calling. And I want him to be as immune to that call as possible when it comes.
Why do so many people pretend? Like, the same people, I'm saying though, man, like, the whole flat blackness and we all we got and we together. But then when they move in their little neighborhood and wave to their little white neighbor, you know what I'm saying, and go to their little dinner party, you know what I'm saying, that those people don't look like them. They're not the representation. We got a class issue that masquerades as it cosplays as a race issue, but then people want to pretend like it's all about race.
And I really think it's not even a class issue. It's a culture issue, because Black America has a flat class. Our rich niggas is niggas. You know how they be like, I think Kanye made the line, even when you in a Benz, you still a nigga in a coupe. That's an internal problem. You have no idea what that white man is thinking.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's still a class issue though.
Call me, trying to get in. Text me. And I was asleep. Ryan, I'm so sorry. This was never supposed to happen to you. Ever. I'm so sorry, Ryan. I'm so sorry, Ryan. Just know he wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't. He was scared. He tripped and fell. He must have been so scared. I'm so sorry, Ryan. It's just that, like, everybody that's talking shit about him just
Like, so what's the story here? Was he not in a stolen car? Like, what was he doing? Church activities? Was he in the wrong place at the wrong time? What are we saying to justify this kid tonight?
This is one of those stories where I just sit back and wait for the information to come in. Well, I mean, I do that on all those stories, man.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, just,
it gets worse though.
Go ahead.
It gets worse the more information that comes in.
Yeah, that's why I just wait, man. It's like that story, I don't know, 3-4 years back of that cop shoots pregnant black woman, right? And then, about a week later, the badge cam comes out and she's like holding a pistol and pointing at the police, and it's like, I mean, I don't know what you want to do. Then that story went away like instantaneously.
I've heard a couple of black people on YouTube talk about this, and so there's this idea of like revenge. It's eye for an eye, right? Who are the two teams involved? Is it his family or is it Team Black, right? Because a lot of folk are looking at it like it's black fist in the air. Who won? All right, so if your son got killed, whether it was a clean shoot, as they call it, a justifiable shoot, or whether it was a bad shoot, your son's dead. Your life is over now, and a totally unrelated cop's life is gone. You didn't kill the guy. You didn't get revenge on the guy, right? And even though I don't agree, as a man, I think as men, most men understand, like, that man, you did something to my son. I got you back. It is what it is. I'll hold mine, but I got you. It's awful. I don't necessarily agree with that in this particular scenario, but as a man, I get that logic of it. You just killed a random guy.
Yeah, it wasn't even a CPD. It was a sheriff's deputy, and allegedly he might have even been retired. And I'm like,
he was.
So you didn't get an active.
If he's retired, that means he was just doing street duty. He was doing crossing guard work.
See, I don't know if he was in uniform or not, because I did see some stories say that he was a retired sheriff's deputy.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. If you're retired, especially like small town America or whatever, you're not in like some big urban state area. A retired cop, you wouldn't be surprised to find him doing that kind of thing, crossing guard stuff, because he's city employee stuff.
Well, even in big cities or whatever, they'll do security for stores and stuff like that after they're retired.
Yeah. So I don't know. He had to know he was a cop. He had to know he was a cop because he was helping, allegedly, the guy was helping with some graduation, directing traffic. So he had to be in uniform or something in order for him.
A bunch of cops. He picked one. And because like you said, there was an event. It wasn't like a random street. So I think there was a bunch of cops. So he kind of assumed that this is one of the cops, whether or not he was active duty or not. He kind of assumed that's one of them. Like, those one of the ops right there. That's Team Red. I'm Team Blue. Let's go. And he went on it like that.
Yeah, pretty much. So here's a question, right? You guys are much smarter guys than me. I'm just a dumb, dusty Negro. But I want to put this together and help me, guys. So you got locked out the house, and then you magically end up in a stolen car with 4 other hoodlums, and you have a gun on you. Now I need somebody to help me make that line work.
Yeah, man. I will refer to the old City High song. What would you do for a little bit of money, man?
It's so funny. I remember being in Baltimore. Up till that point in my life, I was like suburban, like military housing, completely mixed environment, like 70, 80, it's like 80-90% white folks and a handful of non-white people. Might be black, might not, right? You know how that is when you get away from the urban areas. It's very white, especially back in the 80s and 90s when I was growing up. So I remember this time in my life, like being away from all that stuff, being away from the urban environment and all that. Like I would visit the city and like visit Brooklyn really, and I would, get the ghetto. But at that time in my life, I wasn't a street kid, right? I didn't become a street nigga until a little bit later. And then we moved to Baltimore. And so I'm not, a street kid at this point. And I had to walk to school one morning. And I I had to drop my little brother off to school and then walk even further to school by myself. And I literally, I don't know, I got scared. I didn't want to walk all the way, I didn't want to walk all that way by myself, right? And then again, a little suburbanish kid at that point, not a street kid yet. So I turn around, I go back home, and for some reason, I'm suddenly locked out of the house, right? I guess I forgot my key or whatever that morning. Oh, no, my mom wasn't home. I don't even think I had a key at that time. And now I'm trying to get back home, and I'm locked out the house. I don't want to walk like mile or whatever it was to my school. So I just kicked my own door in, basically, and just threw my shoulder into the door and got back in the house. And then when my mom came in, I told her exactly what happened. And she didn't really say nothing to me. I guess she just ate it and called maintenance and got the door fixed or whatever. But that was me, before I was a street kid. I'm like, that's home. I'm going home. I don't know what the hell's going on out here, but I'm going home, right? Me, a couple of years later, I would have never came home. Mother would have literally had to come looking for me. That was a thing that happened in life a couple of years later. My mom was actually out in the streets looking for me, like, why this nigga not coming home no more? Because now I'm a street kid, and I got so many other things besides going home I could be doing. And I think with that kid, he crossed that threshold, man. Because if you were really locked out and you were really like, I need to go home, house niggas go home, bro. Street kids, they stay in the street. And sounds like a street kid to me.
I wonder if he'll have that look. If he'll have that look on his face after 10 years into a sentence.
Nah, he definitely ain't. I mean, you can sit up there and have all that bravado and pound your chest, but you're gonna have a lot of time to think about what you did. You know what I'm saying? And what was it actually worth it? Because in my mind, I don't think anybody gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, on a 20-year bid, be like, oh yeah, that was a good idea.
Webster, speaking of the 90s, man, and it's a weird trope in the conversation that as adults now, we look back at our youth. Like I had adventures, I'm talking about days where I didn't come home some nights even, right? Let alone the whole day. And as a parent now, I couldn't imagine sending my kid off. It's not so much that I don't trust my kid, because my kids are still young. They haven't really done anything to make me think they'll do something crazy. But the world is also a little bit crazier. But is it really? I don't know. It's just a thing like that. That time in our lives as Americans seems to be over, where you're just out all day having some innocent adventure. It seems like the kids that are out all day having adventures are the kids in the ghetto getting shot at by cops.
I don't know if it's like crazier though, because if you just looked at safety and all this stuff, even though we see a lot of bad stuff here and there, it's actually one of the safer times to be alive in human history, which is
yeah,
kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? Like years ago, man, I could have pointed to somebody and be like, "Yo, that mother owe me money. He a witch, and he gonna get burned at the stake."
Hey, I got a question, right? How many single dads do you see in the ghetto?
Almost none. I personally know one, but it's a situation where she's essentially horrible.
Well, I don't know what you mean, but she's essentially horrible.
That's the only way.
Single what?
A single, that's the only way. A single dad, but like, so he's asking how many single dads do you know, like in the hood or whatever. And I said not many, but I known one personally, and it's an actual friend of mine or whatever. But it's because the mom is like completely horrible. Like, you know how
Well,
easy
no,
it is as a mom to retain custody of your kids. This is what I mean. You have to be horrible.
well, honestly, this is what I was alluding to. Single dads do what they have to do to move their children out of those situations. And that is most likely why you don't see them in the ghetto. Not saying there's not many there, right? But, obviously there's more single fathers than we,
I think,
put your seatbelt on, baby,
I think with the
than
family
we
unit,
see, right?
I think the male in the family usually does provide a dynamic financial addition. Like, there's just the productivity of a man across his lifespan compared to like a woman economically, you almost can't compare it. So like, you would expect that if you know across the board, all the numbers included, you would expect that.
I remember somebody
I
related to me. Go ahead, American man.
My bad. Real quick though, I don't know if it's necessarily about economics. I think it's more about mindset. Hood. I truly believe it's more mindset than economics.
Agreed. I don't know if it's just purely economics. I think they both dovetail though. Like the mindset, well, because you can't leave without the economic boost, and the economic boost is going to come from your mental dynamism. Like you're going to have a mind to change things, and because you don't have the ropes and the safety nets that the single mom would traditionally have, and then women will traditionally rely on their support network, whereas men we want to break free of our support network in a lot of ways. The mind leads to the money, bro.
Well, you're like, as a dude, you're not gonna you can't rely on the safety net, because what if it's not there when you need it?
Right, because it's not yours. And so as a man, you become really aware of that. Like, nothing that is helping me now I truly own. So I'm only safe when I actually have my own feet under me.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yo, this is such a crazy thing though, man. I remember when I first saw this, I showed it to 5 like people that don't pay attention to none of this stuff, and I was like, "Hey, what's your first reaction to this, man?" Because I want to make sure I'm not like, you know what I'm saying, like going too hard or like seem crazy. Because I'm like, I feel crazy for even seeing stuff like this, man. This feels like a bad Boondog episode.
It almost does, man. And Aaron Magruder, may he live forever in Black America's psyche, because he was trying to tell people. Freeman's Journal, I for a second, I had this clip queued up, and I said, I don't know if I even want to try it, because I didn't preview it first, but let's take the risk. I'm trying to be all delicate now that we got, shekels and stuff. I've been screaming for shekels all along. I got to respect it now.
You got...
What are you guys mad at? So your nephew or whatever was out doing something illegal. He had a gun on him. He wound up getting shot by the police. We don't know how clean of a shoot it was, so I'm not gonna say it was or wasn't, but that's the life, bro. And I get that part of it. That's just the way it is once you go out on a mission, bro. And like, missions aren't always meant. Every mission has a fatality rate, bro. That's the way it is. You went out on a mission that night. Now, that being said, the father of that child chose to take revenge. That was his personal mission. He went on it, and he's got to carry that. Why are you guys upset?
And they probably gonna print out T-shirts with like free whoever on it, which is wild, man.
They're gonna have the father and the son on a T-shirt. Free my nigga and bring him back from the dead. They're gonna have a T-shirt with both of them on that shit. Watch.
Hey, like, how come there never be nobody down at the courthouse be like, nah, keep him locked up. He a menace. Keep him locked up.
That would be the victim of the family of the victim, rather.
And then I remember it was some years ago now. It was like there was a white father and there's a black father, and it was three fathers. One was like a sheriff or something like that, a white guy. Another one was like a random white guy was a father, and then a black guy. All three of them condemned their son's bad behavior. When their sons ultimately lost their lives, they were like, "Hey, look, I tried to teach my son better. He made these mistakes, and now you know what I'm saying. He got hey, that's how the cookie crumble, basically." And I'm like, "Damn."
You know why
He's
though?
like,
Those
"Go ahead."
are men who probably had fathers themselves, and then as a father, I think if you really take to the role, you understand certain things just about life and about being a man and all that. And I know my father would have said the exact same thing to me. Like, listen, my dad, the couple of times I did get locked up or whatever, one, I wouldn't have reached out to my dad, no way. But like, he didn't make it his business to be a part of that shit. He didn't go out of his way to help. He was like, you have to deal with that shit, nigga. And as his son, as a man myself, I respect it. I don't hold that against him at all because you didn't put me here. You didn't send me on none of these missions. You know what I mean? And you damn sure wouldn't want me doing it, right? So as a father, when you kind of lose your son to the street, like it's tough, bro. It's crazy. It's rough, but you know, every man got to make his own decisions in life.
Come on, man, y'all cool. I just want my brother to see me. I just want my brother to see me. I just want my brother to see me. My brother can't see me.
Yeah, why is he only talking to her? Like it's like he can only hear her.
It's an emotional thing, and this is gonna sound really, you know, I might lose my monetization on this video, but Black folk were a lot better behaved. We had a lot more dignity when racism was a lot more violent. Cause this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. You know what kills me about a lot of the current Black culture? You know, I put a tweet out earlier. I'm gonna share this video with you guys next. I put a tweet out earlier. I was retweeting another video, and it just I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but the things that happen in the video, it just my immediate reaction. That's why I retweeted it. I can't wait till you niggas lose a race war, cause like this does not deserve.
Oh, I remember that one. That was pretty spicy, man. I liked it.
Yeah, this type of masculinity does not deserve to win, and it doesn't deserve to be respected either. And you know, I'm not gonna blame anybody in the video, but we've all, for the sake of not offending the Negro, you know, don't make the Black kids angry. Shout out to Colin Flaherty, rest in peace. We've all been set down this course of not offending the Negro, and now he gets to do this emotional grandstanding in court. I would have liked this video better if they beat him upside the head and dragged him into the drunk tank for 24 hours.
My brother to see me. I just want my brother to see me. I just want my brother to see me. My brother can't see me. They did this shit before. They did this shit before. That's the way to do it. They did it before. I got Dior and them messing with my brother and me before. I ain't do nothing. I just want my brother to see me. I ain't do nothing to him.
Hey, you know, notice how like this cat is, the way he's emoting, and how like this is the only emotion they want people to express, certain individuals. This is out of control.
Well, I mean, there is a weird.
Yourself.
As a man, you feel all the emotions: love, hate, rage, peace, joy, calm, all the things, right? You feel all the things, right? But it is for your sake and all of our sake that you don't respond to every single emotion that you feel as a man. That is your burden as a man. That is your privilege as a woman. when a man actually behaves that way, it is as if it's a woman's emotions in a man's body. A woman's emotions in a man's body is a dangerous thing, and I would feel no guilt when you get put down. That's the burden of manhood, right? That's a burden right there, because things don't work well if we allow ourselves to give way to that kind of thing. 2, society itself crumbles when it gives way to that kind of thing. That's why everybody's miserable and on drugs and pills right now. And then 3, what is it about you in this moment of grief that is admirable, that you should be looked up to, right? You are essentially a woman. You're a 6-foot woman with a beard. Might as well just be like, my baby. They took my baby.
That's my baby. That's my baby in that door. Come on. Ray, please. Ray, please. Doing all that. That see me 101, man. That's that fucking motherfucker there on my brother, man. Ray, please.
Friedman Journal, why are you sending me this video about chimp attacks on Joe? What is that about? I don't even know if I want to play this.
Hey, 1 versus 100, man.
Yeah. The 1 versus 100 thing. Black women ruin that. Yeah. SNL, they put 2 black chicks in it, made the whole thing lame.
That was terrible.
Who are y'all fighting with? I thought the police was the op. Who y'all fighting with? What's going on in here?
This is equivalent of the other show you did the other day with the Brandon Jamal dude, and how the dude wanted to fight him because he was recording instead of stopping the actual fight and telling him he was the problem.
Yo, you know what? Now that you said that, I got the other clip queued up. We're gonna play that one next. You know, community values, bro. I tell you, I can't wait for you niggas lose, man. Imagine you was just in there trying to pay a traffic ticket that day, and now you gotta get caught up in these niggas.
Nah, man, you turn around, go home, man. Try again next Tuesday.
For real. Look, you had a warrant. You had to go talk to the judge that day, and now you got to sit there and go through this whole shit. Oh man, niggas make everything worse, bro. I tell you. Hold on, I'm digging through my bookmarks real quick. This video is in here. There it is. Bam. I know it wasn't that long ago. Bam. Now, if this isn't community ethics and values on display, this is why I really hate the whole concept of it, like, deeply. I would rather just die alone than church with you niggas. What's happening here? I'm not even sure what's happening in the beginning, right? Fat girl pressing him though. Fat girl pressing him from the jump. So she pushed him against the car. Boom. She don't want him to get away. He's being like, gentleman about it because that he's a black. He's used to oversized females being aggressive with him, he doesn't want to respond physically. He's like, oh, be nice, you know.
Damn, they going in
Girl behind him digging his pockets left and right. Got a hand in each pocket now.
pockets. They going in.
Dude on the camera is recording it because it's funny. He's laughing now. Oh, they're going in his pockets. Ha ha. It's a joke.
Damn, they going in their pockets. They going in that nigga pocket. They running that nigga pocket. They going in that nigga pocket.
Uh-oh. Haymakers. I got free haymakers. Who wants one? Knuckle sandwiches. I heard you was hungry. Heard fat bitches like these. And notice the fat one who was the real instigator. She didn't want to jump in and save her friend. But the men jump in.
That's a female. I'm trying to rob you. What's wrong with you, Nick?
Now, to be honest, I imagine those dudes actually know him personally, and that's the only reason why they didn't put hands on him.
Yeah, probably.
That's the only thing that would save them. Because if it was all randoms and strangers, you'd have had to fight them niggas, bro. You might as well had to shoot.
Hey, Hood, man. You gotta see some of the comments under this original post, man. Dog, man, like there was a couple people chimping out, man. Talking about you should have put yourself in that situation. Like there's never an excuse to hit a woman. I'm like, never, ever, never, ever. Really?
You know what's odd?
You can't think. Go ahead.
The Christian conservative is the same perspective. Oddly enough.
If the woman stabbed you 3 times already, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, got you good too, man. You know what I'm saying? You need an ambulance, right? As some of the people would say.
Hold on, Red Pill Goku says, every time I see a man beat a woman, I instinctively know that bitch deserved it. You're like, bro, experience has taught me that ass whoopers don't usually fall from the sky, bro.
Hey, but you know what? Most people, they turn the video on, they only see the one side, and they be like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. Now, the first thing I think is like, what led up to that? And then, you know, if it's the savage one, I'm like, oh, he was holding that in for a while. What'd they do? What did they do?
They deserved it. That's what they did. They deserved it. But only in a community will you get violently assaulted and robbed by a bunch of chicks in broad daylight, and then dudes will treat you like you the bad guy. Like, y'all my homies, we supposed to be jumping these bros, bro. I don't want to hear that shit. If they was some dudes, we would all be out here giving out justice, man. Because it's women, you don't want to give out justice. I guess we're not really friends like that. My friends help me give out justice, bro. This is crazy. Hate it here. I'm moving around white people who don't know me.
Yeah, because like you know that whole never hit a lady. She first off, there was a caveat to that. She had to act like a lady too, right? Because like it's like they stopped teaching the other part. Because I remember like my cousins and like all of us, man, we all got the same teaching, man. Be like, hey, look, don't ever put your hand on a woman. But hey, if she raises her hands at you, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you can defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? That kind of deal. But it's like they stopped teaching that other part. So now it's like you got to
defend myself against the lady. I would never have to defend myself against a lady. The threat level always goes in one direction because she's a lady. I'm a man. I'm threatening. That means I'm going to behave, right? And because she's a lady, she's going to behave too. But the idea is that I'm just a bigger guy. I'm the physical thing, right? But you want to change the dynamic to make yourself a threat. And you know how men deal with threats. Like now you become something I can punch in the face or worse, right? Like I shouldn't feel wrong for treating you like an equal.
I can't stand them. That's a female types. Whenever you see something like this, that's a female. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you, man? Like, it doesn't matter, man. She just assaulted me.
Oh, Trump said something spicy. Hold on, I'm just scrolling through my timeline. I'm about to get up out
Oh,
of
hey,
here, but let's see what.
hey, did you see the Lamont Hill one that I sent to you?
Ooh, so I had like a sneeze and a cough at the same time. I was holding it in. What'd you say?
Did you see the Mark Lamont Hill one I sent to you?
Nah, I saw you sent me something, but I was doing the show. I didn't even really look at it yet.
Yeah, like so he wigged out, man, because Pierce Morgan invited him. I think Myron Gaines was on that joint. And then the N-word girl was on there. No, like this is another one though. Like, no, it was another one. So it's one on that was on Pierce Morgan. So Myron been doing the rounds. I should have sent you both of them. I know. Yeah, that N-word girl. You know the one that did it was baking the cake. You know what I'm talking about, right? The one that looked like Sean Penn.
Lily something. I forget. I don't think it's Phillips.
I think it starts with an L. Nah, like that's not the porn star. This is the chick that was baking the cake and was using the N-word and got fired from her job.
No, there's another Lily doing a 100-man gang thing. Her name's Lily too, but they got different last names. That's what I'm saying. But this one's a Lily also. But anyway, let's see what this is about.
And I don't want to live in a country where you can say an inappropriate, rude thing, which, by the way, Black people can say things to white people all the time and they never get canceled. There's no backlashing about this. I want to live in a country where people are allowed to say what they want unashamedly. And you will
go
not
on then,
have
say it. Say
you
the
will
M-
not have
Go on,
free
say,
speech.
go on. Say the M word. Go on.
But
I'm
no,
not
hang
don't
on.
invite. No. I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word because that's basically.
Oh God, I wish I would have seen this earlier. We would have done a whole show on this nigger. Oh my God, damn! Why did I only see this now? We would have made a whole show. I might drop this now and come back and start a new show. Damn, this is wild. Hold on, I got to go back and watch the whole show now.
Basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here. You and one Uncle Tom on the left here, and to ask her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Pierce. I understand what you're trying to do, but we already know she's racist, and I don't want to invite a racial harm to me.
What's a racist and what's racial harm? I never know what these people mean when they say words anymore.
I hear you.
And I don't want to live in a country where you.
I hope Lily said it though. I hope she said it and then just close her connection. Just hit.
See, it's
end
not
stream or
a.
whatever.
That's the thing. Everybody knows it's not about a slur. It's about leverage. It's about cultural leverage. You can't say it, and
Exactly.
I can't.
It's a bullying
There's no other group. I mean, Mexican rap isn't full of people talking about beaners and wetbacks and stuff. No one's doing that, right? It's it is an aha. I got you. I have some control over you. I have some leverage. I can say it and you can't because.
And I'm calling it out. Blacks can't enforce the N-word pass against the Mexicans. Because in certain numbers, like on the East Coast, it's a little bit different. But the West Coast, nah, they don't even try to enforce it because it would lead to open war and all this craziness. So if they want to say it, they're allowed to say it low key. They just don't say it all the time. But you can't do that to the Mexicans, bro. White guys, though, white guys aren't gonna shoot up your business or whatever. They're not gonna pull up in front of your kid's school.
Oh yeah, no way. Because they don't have the numbers, man.
Yeah,
Just don't
on the
have the
West
numbers.
Coast,
And
it's all over.
bro, it doesn't animate. Listen, white and black are inextricably linked, right? It doesn't even animate black people to tell them that, Mexican gangs were firebombing black people in LA to like drive them out of the neighborhood. That comment literally gets a shrug. It doesn't animate them at all.
Nope.
At
Actual
all.
terrorism, right? Nope.
Literal terrorism. Like the KKK wasn't firebombing, but I mean, burn a cross on your lawn or throw a Molotov cocktail in your house, right? They are not animated by that at all. So, I mean, they don't care. They only got a hard on for white people. I mean, black. Look, man. Go ahead.
I was like, you know what I'm reminded of? I mean, I was watching something or whatever, and Killer Mike was speaking to like this group of like older black folks. Like I got a kind of love-hate relationship with Killer Mike, right? And man, like he actually said something, man, it was like right on point too. He said, man, why y'all charging y'all babies up with all this rhetoric and y'all ain't ready to do nothing? Y'all telling them to do this and do that and filling their head for all this stuff that you ain't ready to do. And that's all I can think of, man. It's like they done heard all these older folks talking crazy, and the young generation took it literally.
Well, that's what's crazy about nowadays, right? And this is another one of those things white folk kind of notice. This is why the N-word thing is such a popular thing right now. It's because for all these generations, they were telling white folk to like be more open and be diverse. Don't just automatically turn away the black people and all that, right? But on the other hand, they've been preaching constant grievance mongering to black people, and not only that, not just grievance mongering, but like this narcissism, like we're better than you. Somehow you enslaved us and you stole all of our wisdom and you took our pyramids and said they was yours and all that, but we're better than you. And because we're better than you and you're the actual bad people, we get to treat you this type of way, right? It's a weird layered argument, but that's essentially how it plays out. And then you get the constant reinforcement like this right here.
There are going to be people that tell you that you don't belong. And I am here to tell you over and over and over that you absolutely belong. There are people that are going to tell you that there is not a table in which there is a seat for you. But I am here to remind you of Montgomery and those folding chairs. Let me tell you that we know how to use a chair, whether we pulling it up or we doing something else with it. Let me be the first one to tell you that I know that y'all are ready to put your boots on the ground.
The other day, that was like yesterday, I think it was the anniversary of that Montgomery boat ride. Niggas really tried to make that like a black holiday.
Is that 2 years?
I guess it's been 2 years now.
Damn, that damn time flies, man. I'm like, yo,
that's
like,
why she said
that's
that.
like,
She was at a graduation, like like the day before the anniversary of that whole thing.
yeah, but like, man, like she didn't even mention Montgomery. This is a weird like retelling the whole civil rights era or whatever. Like, we was never slaves, we was always kings. It's like, yo, man, what is going on, man? Like, that is not a good highlight, man. And all those people's lives better.
Modern black people want to re-win the civil rights war. Think about it. We want to re-win the civil rights battle. And so you got modern black folk, we're grandstanding on the old war because the idea is to re-win the battle. It's like we didn't win it right the first time.
Yeah, but it's written like fan fiction, though. It's terrible.
It is. It is fan
full
fiction.
of non-facts.
It's all literal fan fiction. You're absolutely right. That's a perfect analogy for it. Civil rights fanfic. In his own way, this Rodney Hinton guy, he's a civil rights fanfic. Because back in the day, you would have never, back during the civil rights day, police took your son, you just got to go bury your son with dignity. And, you know, you be in the church humming all angry and shit. Now you get to go spaz and kill a random white guy, and people treat you like you did something great, because we are re-winning the civil rights war. Yeah, in real life fanfic. But anyway, I think I've jabbered enough about this for one day. We're gonna wrap this thing up here. It's like 3 hours. What's up, Freeman?
Now, I was gonna say they can't re-win it as much as they want to live it forever. It is integral to their identity.
Oh, every day. You know, that's exactly what I said. Every day is the Civil Rights Day. Civil Rights Groundhog's Day. I think that's, you know, yeah, it's a better reframing of it. But yeah, that's exactly it. They want to be in it every day, forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, they're like, oh, wait, what did I just comment? Hold on. It was Saquon Barkley at the Met Gala, not dressed like a weirdo.
And I saw that Shabuzi dude, and I saw old girl that played in that Thor movie looking crazy. I'm like, it's really the Hunger Games out here.
That's what it looks like. Ever since I saw the Hunger Games, I can't shake how modern liberal left-wing culture looks like all the rich, fancy capital city people. Right down to the tiger chick. Remember they saw the tiger chick in the last movie when they was trying to like make it through the city and take out the president or whatever, Snow, and they like were running through all these booby traps and whatnot, and they bump into this one person who hid them in her house, and she had got like her whole body tattooed up with like tiger stripes, her face reconstructed to look more feline. It's like, wow, these are actual modern liberals. This bitch is a furry. They made her a furry.
Bro,
Tessa Thompson. That's her name.
All right, what is this link? Freeman, you sending me down blind alleys here. What do we got? A bunch of the usual suspects in the comments. He looked too straight. I already know. He looked too straight. Wow, cool. Yeah, you're not putting me in nothing sassy. He's the only normal looking person in. Said he dressed like the butler. Said all he did was party with some white people and now everyone hates him. Right? They want you to look weird and gay, bro. I don't know what the obsession is with that stuff. Like, I have my theories, but it's a bit too dark for a mainstream discussion. But there's a logic to a lot of things. That is a nice looking watch. This is all totally blackface. Oh, that's an interesting move. He said he got no drip. That's wild. Yeah. Oh, I'd never get invited to the Met Gala, but I don't think I'd fit in anyway. But Freeman's Journal, thank you so much. It's been good chopping it up with you. We will come back maybe tomorrow with another show. Who knows? It's been kind of a slow news week. Nothing really exciting happening other than racism. So looking for other stories to cover, man. We'll see what else happens tomorrow. But we're going to put this one in the can. I will catch you guys later. Freeman's Journal. Peace, bro. I'll talk to you next time. You guys have a great day. Later, bro. We are out of here, you guys.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help Black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done.